I think this is the right channel I'm supposed to be on. Hello, everybody. How's everyone doing? Toasties come over at the perfect time. Sorry, it was a little hectic for me to get started. I really wanted to be live at exactly 7, but I guess not everything works out the way you want it to sometimes. I love you so much, but I've got to send you away because I need my hands. We just got started and I got to make sure everything's working. I know. Okay, let me send this little beast off into the void. Goodbye. Goodbye. Okay. How's everybody doing? Happy Thursday. It's Thursday, right? I'm going to put on headphones. I'm testing a few things out tonight, so we're kind of like slowly but surely fine-tuning the stream over here on YouTube over time. I have, let's see. I'm just going to test this really quick. A subscriber. Okay, I have those set up for tonight. We also have, we're going to see how this goes. I'm working with Panthera tonight to pick out good, to pick out good questions and try to streamline this a little bit better than previously. Let me make my chat bigger. Oh my goodness. How's everyone doing? I hope that you're having a wonderful day so far and a wonderful week. Happy November. So this is the November Q&A session. The previous Q&A sessions have been running a little bit longer than I'd like them to. 4 hours is a little bit long to me. Not for live streams in general, but for a Q&A session. So I'd like to try to keep this between 2 and 3 hours tops. Cardan, hello, Razor Zeus, Something Nifty, Luxo, Aster Gray, Lore and Legends. Marky Sparky's here too. Panthera, of course. Lumpy Shinobi, of course. How's everybody doing? Munto Kai, Geekish Senpai. My week has been great. How have y'all been? How are y'all doing? So we are doing the Q&A session tonight. We'll start with whatever questions come in at the beginning. I'm hopefully getting things like shuffled out a little bit. Let me make sure that I have my clickable chat turned on. Uh-oh, I just closed it. I hope that doesn't mess it up. Pop out chat. Let me just test really quick. Let's test with let's see, testing. Oh wait, there we go. Let's see if Pirate Savvy, we can get Pirate Savvy's up on screen, and then I'll feel like we're all right. It doesn't seem like it's pulling in y'all's chats over here, so that's not cool. Live chat, all messages are visible. Will that change it? All right. What's up, Raph? How's it going today? Hi, Pirate Savvy. Zan Udavs, welcome in. How are you? I think I remember your name from stream last night on Twitch. All right, if I can't get the questions to come up on screen, then I guess it's going to be okay, but I would like to be able to have them on screen, but I don't think that it's pulling y'all in. Broadcast from Mars, hello. I don't think it's pulling y'all into this for some reason, and I don't know why. That's very strange. Yeah, it's not okay. Great, cool, excellent. I spent all that time troubleshooting for nothing. Excellent. We love to see it. Little frustrated. But yeah, how's everyone doing? If y'all have any questions to get us started off the bat, I'm open to them. Any questions about videos I've put out, things on the videos, your own stuff going on with your streams. I guess let me try a different, I don't really know another way that I could do it though. Yeah. Panthera, thank you so much for becoming a member. I did turn on memberships for memberships and things like that. So super chats and stuff. I will be for now, basically like priority in live streams. So you'll get your questions answered for sure. And I've got a couple other things. I'll be doing weekly tarot readings, what do you call them? Collective readings. They'll be private videos for members only. So yeah, that's our first member. So thank you very much, Panther. I appreciate that. I know I set up my little sub badges, alerts and stuff. Live streaming on YouTube is actually pretty interesting, I will say. And it seems like they're, stepping up the game a little bit to match along with how much integration and community focus that Twitch has on their live stream environment. So yeah, memberships is running very cool. I think that's a neat thing. I think that honestly this is just, let me go back to I think that I'm just on maybe the wrong section of my, let me see here. I wish there was a way for me, I mean, this is good for me to learn, I suppose. I've never had to troubleshoot. Okay, you hush in the background. Maybe edit? Edit? What was that sound effect? Aster Gray, welcome to Lucid Dreamer. Thank you so much for the membership. I think Lucid Dreamer is the second tier too. I can't remember exactly. I think it's Lucid Dreamer. Actually, I think it might be the third tier. Anyway, Marky Starkey, thank you guys so much for the memberships. I appreciate y'all. Thank you. Thank you. I just got that up and running. So I wish there was, I'm trying to get into my backend in the YouTube studio so I can, like, I don't know, mess with the stream, so that I can get to the chat of it, but it's, oh, okay. Let me see if I just click on the go live thing again. It will take me right back to it. Yeah, it looks like it could. There we go. Okay, I got it. All right, now let me try this. Pop out chat. There we go. Now I should be able to get stuff up on screen. Let me just test this out. Third tier. Let's see. Did it pull it up? Nope. So 1 second. Get overlay URL. Properties. Sorry for the troubleshooting. And let's see if it works this time. There we go. Got it. Got it. I'll have to scoot over a little bit to make space. Let me pull my microphone out. Thank you all so much for the memberships. I really appreciate you. Lumpy Shinobi, thank you, thank you. Okay, so I have a question here. Let's see if this is gonna work with how we're doing this with Panthera. Let's see. How to change from streaming a saturated game to a new game, how to make that switch. That's a very good starting question. I think that'll give us a good jumping point to go off of. So Gravity Sex GTA. That's a very intense username. Welcome to Stargazer, Lumpy Shinobi, Marky Sparky. Thank you for being a curious kitty. Aster Gray, thank you for being a lucid dreamer. Panthera, a curious kitty. Y'all have to give me some feedback on the tiers. Let me know if they feel, you know, balanced. Oh my gosh, Toasty's gonna be extra tonight, I guess. Yeah. Oh, great. If y'all have a question, Panthera will be relaying them to me in DMs so that I can quickly find them. That way I don't, the last couple of Q&A streams, I've fallen so far behind in chat and I really want to stay current with y'all, but still be able to get through the questions chronologically. So we're trying this method out this week or this month and we'll see how it goes. Hi King, how are you doing? Welcome in. What do you think Dragon Song would sound like? What is Dragon Song? Do you Twitch stream? Honey, I do. I stream on Twitch under the name Hey Shitty Lady. Raph, no worries. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so we're going to get started with our first question from Gravity. How to change from streaming a saturated game to a new game. How to make that switch. So this to me is going to depend a lot on how often you've been streaming already. So say you're only streaming once a week. Switching will be a much more 100%, you're all in. You're just going to change it up immediately. Yeah, the small fee membership, the nice dollar one. But if you're streaming, like I think we'll go with my normal formula of 3 times a week for a beginner streamer, someone who's not quite ready to make it a full time, all the time kind of thing. 2 to 3 times a week. We'll stick with about the 3 estimate. I would say, change it like you change your pet's food. So when you're switching a brand of dog food or cat food, you're not supposed to cold turkey them into a brand new food because it can mess their stomach up and give them very bad like digestive issues that you don't want to have to deal with because it's smelly and runny and all of this gross stuff, right? Kind of the same thing with your community, your Twitch chat, your YouTube chat, whatever it is. If you switch them cold turkey, they might not digest it very well and some could end up running away immediately, okay? I hope that makes sense. So what I would recommend is, say you were streaming 3 days a week of Fortnite and you want to tiptoe over to a less saturated game. Let's say like, I mean, Stardew Valley would be a good example. Is there, if y'all have an example of an FPS game that you consider unsaturated, I'd be happy to use that as the talking point for this. But if we're going to go from, I think that Fortnite to Stardew Valley is a good example too, because we're also switching genres. So we're fully switching our community. I would recommend to stick with the majority of your main content that you've been building your community around. So 2 days a week of Fortnite and 1 day a week of your new game. And you could do something like Friday is my variety day, and every Friday I play whatever I want to, or I play Stardew Valley. It's sandbox farming Fridays, and the rest of the week we're still playing Fortnite, or the rest of the week we're still playing GTA, since it's in your username. So I would keep that as your main content. Then after about a month or so, once you get that farming Friday or your variety Friday, whatever day of the week, once you get that up to pretty close to the same view count that you're hitting with your main content, then you could maybe change that second day of the week. So it's like 2 days a week are now variety days for you, and 1 day is still that main anchor of content, the Fortnite. Or, you know, I know a lot of tarot streamers will run into this when they get most of their viewership off of one specific thing. Tarot, it's hard to transfer to people too from tarot into something else, especially like video games, because it's a very specific kind of content, or makeup, or just chatting streams, and suddenly you want everyone to watch you while you're playing The Sims or something. I would say to keep a majority of your content focused around what you've already hooked people on. This is like doubling down on stuff that's working for you. Keep that as the main hook, and then start to kind of trickle in this new content style and get your audience used to it first before you just full plunge flip. Now, at the same time, that being said, if you are sick to death of Fortnite, or sick of doing tarot, or sick of doing The Sims, or whatever, if you're sick of it, it makes you not even want to stream anymore, forget this gradual process and just change your content. You have to make yourself happy before you can make anybody else happy, period. So if you're selling out in this way to play a game only because you feel like it's going to maintain that audience, but it's making you hate streaming and you don't want to do it anymore, forget this whole method I'm talking about and just take the plunge and swap it out. Make sure that you're enjoying what you're doing above all. I did have to do that. The first 2 years I was streaming on Twitch, I was a very different type of content creator. I still have the same personality and like core, morals and elements and things like that. But I was streaming mostly adrenaline games like Overwatch and Outlast and BioShock and Dark Souls, while trickling in a little bit of creative content. But really, I'm a creative streamer. I'm a creative person. I like to do art. I like to read tarot. I like to talk about our feelings, play sweet little sandbox games like Stardew. And I was streaming mostly horror games and adrenaline games because they were bringing in the viewership. And so I decided that that was worth the sacrifice. Like, that's fine. I can play Stardew Valley in my own time. I'll work on my art projects in my own time. I don't have to stream these because when I stream these, I'm not getting as high a viewership, but everybody wants to watch me rage at Dark Souls. Everybody wants to watch me be scared of the doctor in Outlast. So let me stick with this because I'm getting better viewership. But over time, I built an audience that I won't say that I didn't like, because of course I like the people that end up sticking around for my personality and stuff, I vibe very well with, but I will say expectations from the audience that I couldn't stand. And I hated it's not so much that I was hating it, but I did not enjoy it. And it was actually wearing on my body, stressing my body out, which has caused a lot of health problems now. So that's a whole other can of worms. But, I had to full switch my content from adrenaline games and high energy and drinking on stream and all of this kind of stuff. And I swapped that over to more like wholesome Ulu, Stardew, and I barely ever play adrenaline games now. So swapping that stuff out. Oh, hi Graves, how are you? Can we just ban this person? I don't know how to do them. I'm just going to do this. Okay. All right. I am my own daddy. Thank you. But let's see here. I full swapped my content. Cold turkey pretty much. I stopped streaming for a couple of months, and when I came back, it was a brand new Stardew Valley, Animal Crossing, indie Ulu games. I tried to keep a bit of horror element. That was kind of the transition period, was cute indie horror games that were low key and not jump scare, but they still had the horror element in them to keep that horror interest to follow over while I trickled into more more games that suited my own interests and what I liked to do. And now I'm so excited to be creating content because I'm love what I'm making. I love what I'm playing. And I don't feel like I'm doing it just for the views or just for the viewership and stuff like that. I feel like I'm more focused on what vibes with me and what I enjoy. So all that being said, prioritize yourself, prioritize your own happiness, make sure you're enjoying what you're doing first and foremost. If you can deal with sticking with a game that you might not necessarily love, but you still like it enough, like Fortnite or something, and you're like, I can hang out with this. It's not that big of a deal. Like if I was to trickle out of Stardew Valley now and go back into something like if I wanted to start doing shooter games and go back to my Overwatch days, I would probably do 3 days a week of Stardew Valley and 1 day a week that was like my salty Saturdays, and I played like a salty game, and then I would trickle over that way. I think that would be the best way to transition an audience from one style to another. Okay, I think I'm gonna wrap that question there. Is the challenge of balancing your actual personality with the one you project on stream? Yes. There's a big balance that comes in there. Hey, shooty lady. That would be good too. So we have another question here from Razor Zeus. Let me see if I can control F. Let's see if this is going to work. Razor. Yes, it is. Oh, wait. Well, this just says hey. Let me just try Razor. No, I don't think that's going to pull them up. What do I expect during the first 3 months of streaming? Let's try the number 3. See if that works. No, I don't think it's gonna work, Panthera. What do I expect during the first 3 months of streaming? I don't see that person's question. Oh, there it goes. Okay, all right, so it's just a little bit more tricky. Question is, hey, hi Content Galaxy, how are you? Is there copyrights if I use an avatar from VR chat as my main character for YouTube? I don't think that I can answer that question for you off the top of my head. I wouldn't want to answer that and give you the wrong answer. I feel like that would be worth doing some Google research. CDA Worlds, before we jump into Razor Zeus's question up here, an avatar from VR chat as your main character for YouTube. It depends. There are some companies that will not allow you to use the likeness of their intellectual property. So I would research the specific character you were thinking about. And honestly, I would just try to create your own avatar through VTubing softwares that are available. I would try to just for the sake of branding and stuff like that, you need to create your own avatar, your own character. So I think that you're using an Alice in Wonderland. I think that's what your icon is here. If we're talking like Alice from Alice in Wonderland, just put a little spin on it. Make like, if you want to have that like little maiden, Alice in Wonderland vibes, you could do something similar to it, but I would not use I don't think that's good for branding, period. It's not, and I don't mean to make this sound harsh if this is a harsh answer for that, but it's not very creative, and I don't know that it would inspire a lot of people to take an interest in that branding because it's something they've already seen and it's not new and interesting. So just to put it bluntly, you should, as content creators, we need to be making as much original content as we can and not borrowing from either other artists' ideas or mainstream media art, the art that has already existed. Alan in Wonderland, Marky Sparky, I mean, put a little spin on it, make it original to you somehow. So sorry, I saw that question and I wanted to address that. So Razor Zeus says, what do I expect during the first 3 months of streaming? Troubleshooting. The first 3 months of streaming is going to be getting over the stage fright, getting over all of your little fears and insecurities that are preventing you from pressing go live in the first place. And then it's going to be a lot of technical bluntly technical bullshit. Oh no, my webcam is lagging. I don't have the frames per second set up right. Oh, I streamed for 30 minutes, but then my internet cut out. So something's going, I got to call my internet provider. Well, I can't, I thought like we did tonight, I thought I had the chat up on screen, but the browser source wasn't correct and I'm going to have to update this. So yeah, it's going to be a lot. That's what I would expect. You should be focused not so much on your viewership and not so much on don't be as stressed about your viewership, and be more focused on fine tuning all of the little stuff that you've been working on and haven't had a chance to test run it. This is the test run, especially the first month is going to be like that. And then, yeah, as Content Galaxy is saying here in chat, getting the audio right from Lumpy Shinobi, absolutely. 2 to 3 people coming in and saying hi to you, says Content Galaxy, and then vanishing into the background while you try to figure out what your voice is. An inconsistent audience, not really having a community yet. The first 3 months we're trying to hopefully hit affiliate. I would like to see by the end of your 3rd month on Twitch that you have hit affiliate already. If you haven't hit affiliate by the end of your 3rd month, then you have to do some serious reevaluation because you're doing something wrong. I guess I'm just going to be a little more blunt than usual tonight. I wonder if the moon is in a fire sign or something. What, we got a moon in Aries today? Hold on. I want to open my chocolate bar. So yeah, if you haven't hit affiliate by the end of your 3rd month, then you're either not being animated enough, whether that's vocally or expressively on the stream. You're playing the wrong game. You're way too saturated. You're playing Fortnite and you're sitting there barely talking the whole time. I keep defaulting to Fortnite because it's a very saturated game, right? New World is another example. That's a pretty saturated game right now that I think will probably stay saturated for a while. It took you 6 months. Feels bad, man. You can send the question here in chat, Prescription Hipster, and Panthera is conveying them over to me so I can pull them up. Y'all are screwed. I'm gonna just eat my chocolate. No, I just want a little chocolate. Okay. Little sweet treat. Pajama Crew is saying in chat, first few months learning to use your inner monologue and talking to yourself and saying what's on your mind. Yes. I feel like the first month for me was exciting. I was proud of myself. I was eager. That's another word I would use for your first month on streaming. Eagerness. And I also think that during your first 3 months, you're going to have to start becoming more, you're going to learn more about your boundaries. It took me years, and I'm still working on my boundaries in a lot of ways, but it took me years to really learn how to say no and put my boundaries in place for streaming. But these first 3 months, you're really quickly going to learn, oh, I don't have to entertain this person that's in here asking me and calling me baby girl and I can be your daddy or whatever the hell, sending me a pacifier, lollipop, and bottle, right? My first month on streaming, I might not have banned outright. I might have, because this is my only viewer, this is the only person talking to me, I might have felt a little bit more inclined to talk to them and not ban them because I don't want to lose that view count. I don't want to lose, but boundaries become stronger over time and you're like, nah, get out of here, because you are now changing my inner monologue. The content out of my mouth is being dictated by a troll in chat or by someone who is not the vibe. And I'm just going to ban you and say no and get you out of here, right? That is more what I think the first 3 months will also be teaching you as you get because unfortunately, brand new baby streamers that have less than 5 viewers, y'all are heavily targeted by trolls, and people that know that you don't have mods yet, you don't have boundaries yet, you are vulnerable to them, in other words. And they're going to come in, troll you and expect you to not ban them and expect you to humor them and entertain the troll. We're not here to entertain trolls. We're here to entertain who our ideal audience is. So you need to think about who you want to be sitting in front of you and watching you play this video game. And those are the people that we are cultivating our content for, creating our content for. Not just anybody that drops in our chat, but a very specific type of energy that we are wanting to encourage to continue around. So first 3 months overall, you're gonna learn a lot about your initial boundaries. You're gonna have to learn to ban people and kick them out because they will dictate your if you don't put those boundaries in place, your community will not be your community. It will be built by whoever decides that they are going to come in and commandeer the platform, the place that you're creating. So boundary setting, technical troubleshooting, and hitting affiliate, trying to get up to affiliate, trying to learn how to express yourself, narrate that inner monologue, And also probably a little bit of schedule balancing. You're going to have to learn how often how much is too much streaming, how much time you need to save on the side so that you are able to create content and market yourself off of Twitch on other platforms. Marketing is a huge part of growing as a content creator, especially the more saturated this field becomes. You have to become better at marketing. And there's a lot of people are talking about marketing lately in the streamer education field, which I'm glad to see, because that has been the number one tool for me. I have a good understanding of how to market myself in general. So yeah, trolls aren't necessarily obvious is the other problem. People who aren't rude to you but rude to others in your community, anybody that makes your community feel uncomfortable and you notice that they chase away these good actors, the ones that you actually want in your audience, if you allow those people around, they're going to chase away the people that you actually want in your audience. So are there consequences for Twitch trolls? Do you mean from Twitch itself? Probably only if they're doing the very obvious rule breaking of slurs and death threats and things like that. But if they're just coming in and being like, got a pacifier for you, baby girl, I'm here to be your daddy, they're probably not going to get in any trouble. They'll just get banned from a lot of Twitch channels or YouTube streams or whatever. So I forgot to take my medicine, so give me 1 second. I'm gonna just swap to an AFK screen. Sorry, I totally forgot. All right, so let's move on to the next one from Geekish Senpai. Let me find it over here. See if this will work. Geekish Senpai asks, question, how do I shift my channel niche? Oh, did we just talk about this? My channel niche slowly or create a new channel? I have 24 subs from gaming and I want to keep gaming vids, but I'm scared I will lose subs when adding different niche vids. All right, this is a very interesting question for me because y'all know, if y'all been watching the last couple of videos that I put out, I'm bringing all of my other content. I won't call it old content, but all of my various niche interests, they're coming right back to this channel. I tried it out for a year. I tried to make side channels. So this will be more of an anecdotal answer, I think, because I actually want to make a video covering this once I fully transition the content. That'll probably be a video I put out around December. But I created a bunch of side channels and a lot of people told me not to. And I thought it was going to be the best idea, because to me, if people don't click on your videos, you get pushed down in the algorithm. It's telling YouTube that people don't like your channel and it's not worth recommending because it doesn't keep people on the YouTube platform. And that's what YouTube cares about at the end of the day, is people staying on their platform. So if my click-through rate on a thumbnail isn't good, YouTube thinks that my channel isn't good and it's going to start squishing me in the recommended videos and stuff like that. So I created side channels, and I had a lot, 6 or 7 different side channels, because I have a lot of interests. I am a multifaceted, multidimensional person. We all are, right? Not all of us. You don't just like Fortnite. You like Fortnite and you're really good at cooking, and you also are a beer connoisseur. Like you have all of these different interests. And should you make a sub channel for every single sub interest? I think that is very sometimes, I'm going to give a varied answer. Sometimes it can be a good idea. For example, I'm very interested in, and I don't want to make this a debate or anything, but I'm very interested in like esoteric studies, symbolism, dissecting and the Bible and ancient cultures and ancient texts and stuff like that. I'm very interested in that subject. It's something that's my whole life I've been interested in that. It's a very specific type of interest, and it's a dialogue that would come out of it. While I'm going to be integrating all of these other interests back into my main channel, that still feels like it doesn't belong here. That feels like it needs its own section where people are consenting to that type of discussion, right? Because it's very specific. Over here on this channel, it feels like technology, tutorials and lifestyle content in general that I get asked questions about a lot. Makeup, hair, the tarot stuff that I'm doing on Twitch, video game reactions, media reviews, media discussion, that all matches this general area. So you're talking here, I'm scared I will lose subs and if I add different niches. I think you need to sit down and kind of, you're gonna have to brainstorm a bit. Does it feel appropriate to have the same those conversations in the same context with each other? Another channel that I will not integrate into this one is my ASMR channel. And the reason for that is a little bit different. It's not because I don't feel like it's appropriate. It's because it's completely different content, completely different discussions, completely different audiences, and can also create a divisive atmosphere in a more general audience when you're discussing, you know, political or religious and things like that. Those I feel like need their own space. But ASMR is not because of that. ASMR is because when people are watching ASMR content, they're watching it to relax, wind down, fall asleep, etc., amongst a variety of other, you know, intentions. But that's the audience that I create for people that are trying to relax, meditate, calm, soothe anxiety, fall asleep, fight insomnia. That's why I create ASMR. So if I had that content on this channel and they had pressed like autoplay my content, and then all of a sudden it jumps and it's like, hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, I'm so excited and loud in this video, as compared to the really soft, quiet ASMR. Those are completely different types of content, and that would actually anybody that was listening to ASMR would immediately unsubscribe if I, jump scared them and ruined their like sleepy ASMR. So those belong in different areas. Now, I would love to know, Geekish Senpai, a little more specifics about what your niches are. Now, if we're talking like I just only talk about, I do gaming content, but I also really want to talk about, I want to do movie reviews on the old black and white movies that I have a very strong niche interest in. Those belong together. Those are both media related. Even if it's to a certain degree like cooking, it depends on how much of your personality you're putting into your content. And I would also say bluntly, to answer your question, 24 subs, you don't need to worry about scaring them away. You're still at a small enough area, with your content that you probably should be doing more variety content instead of just getting stuck in a niche. I will say that for me, doing these Twitch tutorials, and I kind of thought this would happen after a while, I would run out of stuff to talk about. I would run out of content for it because there's only so many things I can say, so many tech tutorials I can do before it's like a finite resource, in other words. But what isn't a finite resource is my personality and my interests in general. So rather than trying to focus on the niche, it's so interesting. I almost feel like we're going through a shift on the internet right now. A couple of years ago, the advice was niche down, niche down, niche down. And I still think that niching is a good idea. But I also think that showing a full spectrum of what you're capable of is valuable, almost more valuable, because it's like, I'm more than just a 360 no scope Fortnite streamer. I also can, this is too spicy. I also can create a successful skincare line. But showing those varieties of interest, bringing in the lifestyle, beauty content on top of gaming content, that's a whole market in and of itself. I had a comment from someone earlier on one of the videos I put out in the last week that was she was a mother and she would be gaming sometimes by herself and gaming other times with her children on screen. Gaming moms who game, and especially because the millennials are growing up and we're having children now, mom gamers, that's a whole niche that's about to pop off. Diapers with Zenyatta from Overwatch on it, you know what I mean? Like, that's a whole niche right there. And all kinds of stuff. The millennials that are growing up, we got to get brave. We got to be leaders. We got to do shit we've never seen before, because it's by doing that we're actually going to be able to create these really interesting brands that are going to give us like a lot of power that we don't realize. I feel like so many people want to copy what other people have done, and I don't mean full copy. copy. I mean, emulate. This is how this person was successful, so I have to do it exactly like they did. And this person streams 5 days a week and they only stream video games. And we stop thinking creatively about how we create content, right? Mom gamers might be good. Mom gamers is a Zenyatta diapers. So let's see here. Yeah, Astro Gray, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for the membership. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful night. So let's see here. I think that my brain kind of drifted. I have 24 subs from gaming. I want to keep gaming vids, but I'm scared I will lose subs. Geekish Senpai, the other blunt answer I will give you on this. Oh, here we go. Let's play gaming highlights. And you want to review apps, collectibles, movies, TV shows, how to, those belong together. Those belong together. You're doing, like, if you're a gamer, you also are interested in technology. So as an audience member, I'm watching this person play Minecraft, and they're also going to teach me how I can get an app on my cell phone that will let me play Minecraft on my phone. That's an app review, right? So you can transfer into app discussion. Collectibles, you're playing video games and you have figurines, right? Yeah, I do Minecraft. I also really love, oh no, I keep knocking your hair off. Showing off your figurines to people that are already like geeky and nerdy. Of course there's going to be a crossover in that. Anything that falls in that geeky nerdy realm. If you're a gaming content creator, anything in that geeky nerdy realm is fair game. Movie reviews to anime reviews, watch throughs, reactions, discussions about story times. Another thing I think that we need to bring back a little bit is, like, you know, me getting made story time. I was laughed at for carrying an Inuyasha lunchbox in high school. Like, relatable content for other like geeks and nerds that are watching your content, or telling my mom that I spent 50 hours this week on Minecraft, you know, stuff like that, stuff that's like relatable stories. Like, bringing more personality to the content is highly important to me, and it will stand you out and actually help you create a brand. And that's also a lot more impressive to sponsors, companies, brands that want to work with you, more so than just generic person plays Minecraft, but they have no real solid personality, or, well, of course they're gonna have a personality, but like a brand identity, I guess we'll call it. So I think when companies are looking at me, I feel like they're seeing the overflow of beauty, not to call myself, that's not what I mean, but like makeup, hair, fashion. So I'm going to draw in gamer girls that are into makeup, hair, fashion. I also have the crossover of the witchy content with tarot and stuff like that. So it's bringing in another realm of, and it's all, so they're seeing more of a solid identity of the viewership, identity of the audience, if the content creator has more of a solid identity as well, rather than if I was just a ooh wholesome Stardew streamer. There's a dime a dozen. There's a million ooh wholesome Stardew streamers, but there's not a lot of Stardew streamers that also specialize in tarot and do makeup tutorials. There's that's more unique and more it's, I don't even want to use the word niched, but sort of like there's more that's being offered there. Does that make sense? There's definitely more in my audience, as Content Galaxy saying, there's more in my audience than just like ooh gamer girls that need to know where to buy false lashes. But that's definitely going to be like a driving factor when especially if I transfer into more lifestyle content. There's going to be more of that coming out. You do tarot and makeup tutorials in Stardew? Bex? But see, when that happens, that means that we would be really good networking individuals, because our audiences are going to be so similar that the crossover, if I were to raid you, my audience will love you because there's so much similar interest going on there. So when you're picking out people to network with, keeping your heart and soul in the mix. Hi, Kyoryu. How are you doing today? Keep your heart in this. Don't fully go into business mode and people are tools for me to social climbing. People are tools for me to elevate my own metrics. Keep your heart involved. But I do think that there's strategy that should be employed. And so make sure that you are networking with people whose audience is similar to your audience, or like y'all would have a good crossover. So let's move on to the next one. From King CMC TV. Let's see here. I've been streaming on Twitch for 7 months, 4 times a week, but I get no followers. How to get more followers? Such a go-to question for streaming advice. I would say I would like to know more about your metrics. What's your average viewer count? What are you streaming? And what's your average viewer count? What are you streaming? How long are your streams? Those would give me a little bit more specialized information to give you a better answer, I think. But 7 months, 4 times a week. Have you hit affiliate? That's another question I have. Stop streaming so much. I would pull it down to 3 times a week. And I would make that 4th day of the week, networking, and marketing yourself and creating content on other platforms. So you need to get involved on another social media platform, whether that's Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok. A micro-blogging platform needs to start being used by you. If you're already doing that, and if you're doing all 3 of them, only do one. Let's have one main content platform like YouTube or Twitch, and one main micro-blogging platform like Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Tumblr even. The point of this other type of social media is it has discoverability. So Discord would not work for this example because there's not discoverability on Discord. That is a dead end. When people come into Discord, they stay in the Discord and they have to come from another place to get to you. There's not really good searchability on Discord, so it doesn't count. It has to be Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Tumblr. Tumblr's an iffy. I haven't used it in forever. I don't really know how the discoverability or audience is on it anymore, but so TikTok is probably your best bet, unfortunately, but the virality possibilities on that and the discoverability is high on TikTok. Twitter is a little bit more focused on networking. You have to be a little bit better at talking to other people and networking with other people. And Instagram is just really frustrating because it's older. It's got the Facebook problems. They prioritize, it's pay to win in a certain way. They prioritize if you're going to buy ad spots from them and stuff like that. And it's really easy to get shadow banned if you use too many hashtags or if you like too many pictures in one day, and it's always changing. So Instagram can be a little frustrating for that reason. But I would pick one of those 3. And what you need to be doing is sharing clips and moments from your live stream onto that other platform. You could potentially use YouTube as well if you were willing to put in the time and energy to edit one quality YouTube video a week that was not just a highlight reel of your streams. I hate to say it, but nobody cares, okay? You have to get to an established point, I would say past partnership, like... even at this point, I don't think that I would get high viewership on like Twitch. Like, so, and when I say at this point for me, I average about 50 viewers on Twitch. At this point, I don't think that a highlight compilation is the best bet for me. What would be a better bet is a condensed playthrough of one video game. So I just played Unpacking, for example, yesterday, which is a very cute pixel game. I'm doing the thing where I talk a lot without breathing. I'm sorry. It's a very cute pixel game where you just unpack and move. It was a 5-hour stream and I beat the game in one 5-hour stream. Is SG here? Hi, SG. If I were to take that one stream, which I'm hopefully going to do, fingers crossed, send me energy so I can do this. And edit that down into about a 20-minute video, 15 to 20-minute video. And it's the hard punching moments. There's a couple of moments in the stream where I was like, I love this game so much. I would recommend this game for this type of person who's looking for this. Like any moments where I'm like expressing my opinion about the game, especially if I'm recommending it. Really good reactions. There was a couple of moments where I was just like hands on my face. Oh my God, this is so cute. Like very emotive, expressive moments of the stream. Those should be pulled out. And then it would be one video put up on YouTube that is like, some catchy title with a clickable thumbnail that's deliverable. It's not bullshit clickbait. It's deliverable content. Your ADHD versus breathing, God, literally me. So strategy wise, throughout your week of streaming, you might want to pick one game that's 15 hours or less to beat. So you can beat one game a week. Try to find like indie games, 10 to 15 hours of beating time, or like time to beat, and then have that turned into a game review reaction highlight compilation 15 to 20 minute video on YouTube, and then you're going to start to build up a portfolio and directory on YouTube of what it's like to game with you, and people aren't going to come onto your channel. This is why I said the 4-hour live streams are too long for our Q&As. 4 hours is a lot of time to ask somebody to watch, especially if they're not sure that they already like you. So if it was more like if I were being strategic with these Q&As, I would be chopping them up after, and I would be uploading each question individually as one YouTube video, or at least pulling out 2 or 3 of the questions from the Q&A that were just great. I felt like I delivered the answer really well. The question was awesome, and uploading those. So it's all about being strategic with the live content that you're making, and making sure that when you're live, you're creating content that is worth chopping up and editing and sharing somewhere else. So you have to be strategic with what you're choosing. If you're playing Fortnite over and over and over and over and over and over again, how much original content can you make out of that? What you could do with Fortnite or something like Overwatch, I can talk about it better with Overwatch because I actually know the characters and stuff. So if I was an Overwatch streamer and I played 5 days of Overwatch a week, this week my YouTube video is going to be me trying to get a play of the game as Genji. Right. Next week, mine's going to be trying to, and something really fun I did in Overwatch one time was ASMR competitive matches. Me and one friend would get into the voice chat on competitive and talk only in ASMR. And we would try to convince the whole, competitive team to ASMR with us while we, that would be that's 1 week of content on YouTube. The next week would be, going into arcade mode on Overwatch and trying to what was the ice pick challenge or whatever, trying to beat that. Like, you would want to have Overwatch parkour or the Anna what was it? There's a really fun mode with Anna in arcade. But anyway, regardless, Overwatch niche stuff, but finding something in this game, Fortnite, Overwatch, Apex, League of Legends, all of these games that are the same thing over and over and over again, finding something unique out of them that you can make, you could use those for YouTube content. You just have to be creative. You can't just do, oh, my highlights of my Fortnite gameplay. How many highlights of Fortnite gameplay is available? On a paintball, that was it. How you've got to come up with interesting things that people actually want to look for. And random person number 7,483 who is showing their one what's it called, chicken dinner, no, that's in PUBG, victory royale. Like, I'm sorry, but that's, people don't care about that. People would probably care if it was like some kind of fun chopped up content of stuff happening on voice chat with you in Fortnite. I don't like to be on voice chat in video games. So it would have to be something different, but Battle Mercy only is an excellent idea. So it's coming up with, and the point of this is, you've been streaming on Twitch for 7 months, 4 times a week, but I get no followers. We got to be more creative with what you're doing. We've got to change up the game. You've got to get out of saturated games. If you really want to stay in saturated games, then you got to come up with creative ways to tackle those saturated games. All kinds of stuff like that. Fortnite, but you can only melee. These are all excellent ideas, like interesting things that people are like, what? Like, Fortnite is so run of the mill at this point. Same with like Among Us. I know that's kind of a dead game now, but Among Us got really run of the mill, and why would I want to watch you and your group of friends play this game? Like, what makes it interesting? And it's like Among Us, but we can only whisper, or, Among Us, but everyone has to swap right and left hands on the keyboard. Like, little innovative ways to change it up so it stands out in the sea of content that already looks exactly like what it is. Okay, I'll move on to the next one. Nanashi's Cuisine, non-game streaming. Okay, non-game. I have a question about non-game streaming. Panthera, this process is working amazing. Thank you so much. This is a great idea. I have a question about non-game streaming. I'm a pro chef and I'll soon start streaming cooking stuff. Do you have any advice? I think that's a great idea. I think that the more content that's coming onto Twitch that's not gaming related, the better. Twitch is also on the back end, from what I understand. I don't have connections to tell me this, but from what I see them promoting on the front page, Twitch is really trying to bring more to Twitch than just gaming. So music is doing really well. It's getting a lot of promotion from Twitch on the front page. Art to a certain degree, and cooking and fitness and stuff. Fitness has a hard time. That's a spicy topic, but fitness has a hard time. Yes, the cooking community is incredible on Twitch. It's very supportive. It's a lot like the art category. It's very, very supportive and interwoven. And they tarot communities like this too. Tarot streamers will raid other tarot streamers even if they don't already know each other. Cooking streamers go into the cooking category and raid in that category. They keep the love in their little niche. So I think that this is great. And a pro chef, you're already coming in with like that's like a hard identity right there, like super niched identity. So a pro chef could be like a title included in the titles and stuff. Pro chef teaches you XYZ, you know, or pro chef tries viral TikTok thing, you know, like those are, I see a lot of stuff on YouTube that does pretty well, of like professional hairdresser reviews the wolf cut, the stylish wolf haircut, like the girl from Squid Game, the main girl, the beautiful girl, the waifu. But like when you can come in with your what do you call it, your qualifications, and then use that to review and also showcase your authority and the subject matter, then it's going to be more clickable and interesting. So or intriguing, I would say. It's very intriguing. Yes, I would love to see the pro chefs or the pro, like a professional barista. I would love to see a professional barista talk about that like whipped coffee thing that went viral on TikTok a year ago. So yeah, I think that and advice for it is, I would definitely want to make sure your audio setup is good, but I think for cooking streams specifically, dynamic camera setup is very important. I would have one on your face, or like have your little computer station where you walk back to it and your face is like front and center and you're like coming back to chat and discussing with them. And then it's like a camera that will also be full body of you at your cooking station. And then if you could, it's possible, I've seen people do it, but an overhead camera on the cooking area. So this could potentially just be two different camera angles, one camera angle of the whole room, and you come back up center so that your face gets closer, and then you move back out to the stove, then you come back up and talk to chat, and then the overhead one so people can see your hands as you're actually creating. This is also what I would recommend for creative streamers as well, a face camera or one that's focused on the human, and then one that's focused on the craft. I do this in tarot streams as well. There's a face cam, there's a tarot cam. I would prioritize the craft, the cooking, the art, or the tarot, and the face cam should be secondary. So if you have one really good camera and one okay camera, the really good camera should go on the craft, the cooking, the tarot, the etc., and the okay camera would be on face. That's my opinion on that. That's how I've been doing it. I just think you want the detail, you want the high def shots on the stuff that what's the word? The thing that you have in common with the audience, which would be the interest in the food, or the we're talking about this tarot card, or I want you to see the tiny detail of me doing this line art. You know, you want the high def focus on the content as opposed to the face. But I would recommend, y'all know I'm biased about this, but I would recommend having a face cam in just about anything that you do. It's a hurdle you got to jump over, stage fright, fear of people not thinking you look good, or all of these types of things. And then some people, I understand if there's like a privacy issue and things like that, or you're trying to protect your identity from, like, you don't want local people that you know in your real life to ever see you associate with that type of content. That's a different ballpark. If we're just talking someone who is camera shy, that's a hurdle you're gonna have to climb over if you want to, like. But at the same time, there's a lot of people that make it non-face cam streaming, so it's not a hard requirement. But in this sea of content, you will be at an extreme advantage when your face is attached to your content. People want to look at other people. It doesn't matter how cute or pretty or whatever you are. It doesn't matter. People want to see other people. You can tell that on TikTok. Yeah, a lot of hot people go viral on TikTok, but there's a lot of not hot people at all. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you so much. Real Frank Mayo, I'm trying to be the biggest Hey Shady Lady fan. I appreciate all your energy so much. You've been so awesome the last couple of days. Thank you very much. Okay. Yeah. And Content Galaxy, Dream and Corpse don't have faces, but they have really famous avatars. So even if you're not doing a face cam, a VTube avatar or a very recognizable logo or avatar is what we should be doing. Hi, Luna Lisa. Welcome in. Okay. Moving on to the next one. CDA Worlds again. I think, or is this a dude? No, this is a different person. Oh, but I did talk to you earlier at the start of stream. No one that was looking familiar to me. It says, I want to be vulgar. I want to be a vulgar. I want to be vulgar. Is there a stop to underage viewers? Because I'm not a parent. On Twitch, there is an 18 plus. Turn on mature on your Twitch stream. And yes, you can be vulgar. You can't use hate speech and slurs and stuff like that. But I personally have chosen to start drifting away from cussing as much. But there's multiple reasons for that for me. I can give you all an anecdotal story about why. I'm going to generically answer the question first. Be yourself. People enjoy authenticity, period. So if you are a sailor's mouth, you say cuss words all the time and that's who you are, be raunchy, be vulgar, be yourself. You will find your audience, they will find you, and they will appreciate you for being loud and vulgar. They will love it. I guarantee it. If you're trying to be vulgar to get an audience, don't do that. If you're trying to be family friendly and cover yourself up and you hate it, don't do that. Be yourself, be vulgar. There's a rule on Twitch that you have to be 13 plus to use the website, and you can turn on maturity so that you have to agree, you have to say that you're 18 plus in order to view the stream. It says something like, this streamer has indicated that this is mature audience for 18 plus only. And then you have to say, yes, I'm 18. I agree. I want to watch it. And that's what I would recommend adding. I mean, really, another thing that content creators will do to protect themselves and to protect their audience is they have a chat rule that is 18 plus, period. And if I find out that you are under 18, you're banned from the stream. So do not bring up your age. Do not mention your age. And if it is ever revealed that you are under 18, me or my mod team will ban you because it is unsafe for you as a minor to be in my audience of mature adults. And it is a liability for me to have a minor in my audience based on the stuff that I'm discussing. So that's up to you. Anecdotally, for my experience, I still lightly cuss, I would say. On my streams, I've tried to do it less and less. There was one time where I was streaming a video game. I don't remember what it was, but it was an indie game that was getting a lot of hype, sort of like I just did with Unpacking yesterday, an indie game that was getting a lot of hype. And they were on their Twitter very proactive with retweeting anybody, which got eyes on your content, retweeting anybody that tweeted and was like at the game company, and then, like, whatever, here's my gameplay, I had a fun, look at this funny moment. And then attached a video clip, and that would get retweeted and promoted by that game company. They were doing it to everybody that was posting, right? And I posted one, and it was a great clip. It was funny. I liked it. I took time editing it. I added sound effects, but I dropped the F-bomb in it. And they did not retweet it. And it's because they were more of a family-friendly game. And so from there, I was like, okay, the fact that I was vulgar kind of unnecessarily stood in my way. So this is a debate that everyone will have to answer for themselves, to be family friendly or not to be family friendly, to edit yourself and change yourself a little bit so that you are more marketable, shareable, et cetera, et cetera. It's a question you need to answer for yourself. I can't give you the answer to that, because you also want to make sure that you are proud of what you're making and you don't feel like you're selling out or changing yourself for whatever, right? Another reason why I have been editing my cussing is, one, I feel personally, and I'm not saying, I have a lot of friends, and I've been vulgar my whole life. My parents are vulgar as hell, and I have a lot of friends that are very vulgar. I feel less intelligent when I cuss. I feel like it makes me sound dumber than I am. I feel like there are more creative ways that I could express myself, and more unique ways that stand out a little bit more than just dropping the F-bomb 5 times in a 30-second period. For me personally, I don't judge other people for that at all. I appreciate people for how they express themselves, and I have friends of all spectrums. But for me personally, I feel like I am more creative. I have more creative ways to express myself. And that won't alienate certain members of my audience. And an additional reason is because I actually do have quite a few friends with teenagers, not like 17-year-olds, but like 12 to 14-year-olds that will watch me with their parents who are my friends, who are my audience. So I have a bunch of moms now that I'm friends with that have young teenagers that watch my content with them, and that is another thing. So it's almost like a teacher babysitter vibe that I have this like kind of role that matches with me. So that is another determining factor for why I have chosen to alter how I speak, right? Again, just to reiterate, you have to answer this question for yourself. What feels good to you? What feels right for you? What feels authentic for you? Okay, I'm going to move on to the next one. Oh, and also, last thing I want to say this, I'm not a parent. You're not required to be anybody's parent. You don't have to babysit. If there's a 13-year-old in your chat, you don't have to keep them around. It's not your job. We're not parents. Twitch streamers are not parents. Twitch streamers are not therapists. Twitch streamers are not girlfriends and boyfriends and best friends, and we're entertainers, okay? Don't feel obligated to parent people's children. It's not your job. Okay. Prescription hipster. How would you suggest getting started on TikTok? Ugh. Okay, I don't have qualifications to answer this, is what I will start by saying. I have 300 followers on TikTok, okay? I can give you my opinion on what I see cause virality, people to go viral or people to excel on TikTok. I can give you my opinion on that. So that is how I'm going to answer. How do you suggest getting started on TikTok? One good way is to use clips from your Twitch stream, and there's a variety of websites that you can use to automate the system of posting clips. I did a video on one in the past. It was a sponsored video, so take it with whatever grain of salt you want to add to it, but it was with CrossClip, who I do think is a good option. And there are a couple of other, so you could even just Google Twitch clips to TikTok clips, and you'll probably find all of the different options. I don't remember the other names off the top of my head, or I would give them to you right now. CrossClip is the only one I remember because I did a video on it. But you could also just edit them yourselves. But if you don't have the Adobe Premiere and the experience and the knowing how of doing it, then I would say to just find one of these websites to use. There is one that's just flat out free. Most of them have like a monthly membership, and it's up to you to decide if that's worth the investment or not. I think an even better idea than Twitch clips. Twitch clips is, to me, harsh way to put it, but it's the lazy route of TikTok. I think an even better way is to just pull your phone out and make original content for TikTok. Original, face the camera. Even better if you are willing to get full body. If you're willing to stand up and dance or do silly things or whatever on full. That's what I see work on TikTok. I see people that are not afraid to physically, like it's more like theater than anything. Stand up and physically express, whether that's dancing or not. It doesn't have to be dancing, but just actually putting your full body up and actually acting out and moving and expressing more physically with the body. That is what I see do well on TikTok. Very short, to the point, funny little things. Even little 30-second of like, oh, today I did one video that I did, probably one of my best TikToks, I guess, I think, as far as like performance, was me making a joke about, oh God, it's so embarrassing. Not the TikTok, but I accidentally went live on Twitch and I didn't know. And it was live for 5 minutes, and SG, my boyfriend, had to tell us. I was like, oh God. But I made a TikTok that was just like, oh my God, have you ever accidentally gone live on Twitch and you didn't know it? And that was it. It was just voice. I wasn't using a TikTok sound. It was just me. And that got promoted so much more, and it got more engagement. So actually, expressing original content, not just repeating the same thing that's been done a million times over on TikTok. But there's of course strategy to be done of using viral sounds and jumping on trends and all of this stuff, which I won't really go into detail on because there's a lot of YouTube videos that talk about that. But I think that the more original content that you can create on TikTok, the better. Also, just on any platform, the more original content you can create that's not just the same thing that's been done a million times by everyone else. The stuff that I do on TikTok, that's just me lip syncing to a song and it's been done, it's the viral sound, it'll get it performs poorly. I won't not even use metrics. It performs poorly and I feel like I've wasted my time. The best ones that I've done have been makeup related, like transformation before and after, which is my niche. That is a talent I have, not to sound full of myself or anything, but that is something that I have that is a niche interest. I do good makeup. I can do good makeup sometimes. And when I share that, or art related, that is the niche that I have, right? As opposed to just random generic girl on TikTok also using the same filter and singing along to the same song that 5,000 other people have posted just in the last hour. You've got to do something innovative and interesting. I think that's just my reoccurring message for the night. Be unique and interesting. Don't copy the same shit you've been seeing everybody else do. Try something new. Bring something new to the table. I'm going to answer this question before I go through the chronology because I like this question and I just saw it. How did you get over stage fright when recording? I pause a lot, mainly scared to say things the wrong way. Do it. More. Practice. I hated seeing myself on camera the first couple of times, and I would really I've got to wear more makeup, or my hair looks bad, or my voice is so weird, I talk out of my nose. Oh my God, I can't believe people would want to listen. Just really micro, hyper criticizing my appearance, my voice, my delivery, which is part of the process, and it will make you better if you criticize and nitpick and I say a lot. I need to stop saying so much. What else? Vocal fry. I had a very bad vocal fry. I still will struggle with the vocal fry occasionally, which is a vocal fry is when you talk like this, it gets really croaky, and it's just because I'm not projecting enough and opening my throat enough. It's trainable. You can train yourself out of it. There's some stuff that you would be able to train yourself out of, but you have to become aware that it exists in the first place. And to become aware of it, you have to be willing to look at yourself on camera and actually analyze that. It's not a raspy voice, Content Galaxy. There's a difference between a natural rasp in a voice and a vocal fry, where it's just I don't really want to be sitting here talking. I'm just ready to go to sleep. I don't want to go here. It's more, it's a tone. It sounds like you're exhausted. And it sounds not confident. Because that's what it is. That's why it's happening, is because you're hunched over and you're pushing this part of your throat together. So that's a specific thing to address, though, as a vocal fry. But using these likes, ums, us, so's, that's also a bit of a confidence thing, and not having confidence in what you're about to say and being uncertain about what you're going to say. Marsdonian is here. Hello, Marsdonian. Talk to yourself in a mirror is a more intimate way to do it. Another self-care thing you could do is look yourself dead in the eye and give yourself compliments. That will help build up self-esteem a little bit. It feels really weird to do it, but it does work. Sometimes it might make you cry too, but I say a lot too. I don't mean to say that so is a bad thing, but it's also unnecessary space filling. Another thing that I could do, and I've learned to do because it helps me in the editing process, is instead of instead of doing all of that, I can just be quiet. Wow, what a concept. Let me just pause for a second, and then I know what I want to say next, instead of saying right? And it's so much easier to edit, first of all, because I can just see the blank space there instead of having to listen and go, cut out that cut out the so, but I wanted to maybe say I can just see the blank space and cut that. It helps in the editing process, makes it a lot smoother. And Now I'm going to hyper notice every time I say It also, if you're doing it as a recording process, you're going to just be gradually training yourself to speak like that when you're not recording too. You'll be gradually training that out of yourself. Okay. All right. I mainly get scared to say things the wrong way. That's a confidence as well. Practice. Start recording yourself. You would be mind blown at the gigabytes of video content I have on my hard drive that has never been published. The amount of times that I pulled my phone out to be like, oh, just vlogging and checking in today, and I'm going to the grocery store, and it's literally never been posted. For years, I've done it. So the more you just get into the habit of recording yourself, looking at yourself on camera, hearing yourself on camera, review your Twitch VODs, listen to them and critically listen to them and say, is this interesting? Is this entertaining? Would I click out? Am I being quiet for too long? Was this actually a unique take, or am I just giving very generic feedback on the game? Was I low energy? Or yeah. And as Content Galaxy is saying, just call yourself out when you say something the wrong way and it becomes funny. Like, just kind of make fun of yourself in the moment. Like, have a sense of humor about yourself. I have said this in a previous video, but don't take yourself too seriously. Learn to laugh at yourself. Learn to see the humor in the awkwardness. Especially when it comes to streaming and stuff. You're going to be on camera for multiple hours unedited. Like, you have to learn to just be in the moment, right? We'll never know what she got at the grocery store. I got this chocolate bar today. Oh no, don't spill chocolate on me. Theo. I love this Theo chocolate. What? Sea salt? Oh my God. Sea salt dark chocolate. God, I'm here for it. Okay. The next one is from Broadcast from Mars. I also am not qualified. I don't mean to do so many that I'm not qualified to answer. I just launched my fan house and it's not doing anything. Okay. I'm gonna be real. Y'all know I made that video on fan house. I still only have 12 subs on it. I don't, hi Nick, welcome and thanks for joining. I don't promote it properly and I don't make enough original content for it to be worth people subscribing to. That's my critical analysis of why it's not growing. Coffee, Patreon, Fanhouse. I will be launching Coffee and Patreon. Now, my strategy for this is Coffee, Patreon, Fanhouse. They all get the same content. So it's essentially like I'm still just running one, but I'm branching out to 3 platforms so that I'm available. Not everybody wants to sign up for Fanhouse. Not everybody wants to sign up for Coffee or Patreon. So I'm making it as easy as possible for people to be able to subscribe to my monetized content. And that's also what these subscriptions here on YouTube are. I think the $10 one gets the first tier of my Coffee, Fanhouse, Patreon one, right? Which is, and I've got to come up with original content for it, which means that I have to be pacing myself properly in my non-monetized content, my free content. And you can't stop making free content. You're going to shoot your growth in the foot, and you're limiting your ability to expand the amount of people that would subscribe. So continue to make free content, and mostly free content. I'd say like a 70-30 split. 70% of your content should be, my opinion, it's going to be different for everybody, and it depends on what kind of content you're making. 70% should be free. Twitch live streams, just regular YouTube content, and your Instagram, TikTok, Twitter posts. Most of your content should be free. And then the 30%, so for me, this looks like one private video a week, which is going to be my tarot, like the collective tarot reading, and then also one edited video a week, which is going to be a time-lapsed makeup look. That's streamlined for me because I already do tarot weekly on my Twitch channel. So as soon as my tarot stream is over, I can just go ahead and I'm already in tarot mode. I can go ahead and make that tarot video and get it ready to upload for the week. And then all I have to do with makeup wise is record myself getting ready for stream one night and then time lapse that, and that's that extra content, right? And those are both very demanded content from me. So I'm focusing on what my audience wants from me, but that I don't have the time or energy to make on a mainstream level, on my free level, on the normal content level. And I'm offering that up as extra content if you're willing to subscribe, right? True, and as Content Galaxy is saying, a 10-minute makeup tutorial on YouTube on YouTube. So I could do a 10-minute time-lapse video that is a free video on YouTube, but I have the 40-minute Patreon of the same look that's not time-lapsed, and I go into detail of, I bought this is Maybelline's lipstick, la la la, like this is where it's more in-depth, more detailed. And if we want to take that away from makeup content, because that might not resonate with everybody, gaming content wise, is there a way we could do it? I would say like maybe playing games with your viewers, or if you're very good at a game, giving people tips on how, like people can ask you questions about how you got, you know, stuff like that, like finding ways that you can make it exclusive and worth people's money. And then the other way that you go about growing Coffee, Patreon, Fanhouse is marketing, period, end of story. Most of the things that you're going to grow online comes along with marketing, at getting the word out there about your content. Networking is good too, because that's going to result in shout outs and cross promotion and things like that. But marketing at all, and getting the word out, letting people know what you do, that's the important thing to focus on. So an example of Fanhouse and Coffee and Patreon stuff is I see a lot of people that, like, what I could do, let's use the makeup example again. I could take a picture of today's makeup, post it on my Instagram story, post it on my Twitter feed, post it in my Discord, and say, just finished filming my makeup tutorial for this look, subscribe to my Fanhouse to see it. And people can still see the makeup look, which is the free content. And in the makeup industry, the makeup community, the beauty community, just seeing makeup is definitely a content we enjoy consuming. But offering the tutorial on how to do it and watching the transformation of it, a lot of people offer that for free too. But maybe you do something very special that people really want to get from you, and that would be the exclusive monetized content, but you have to tease people into coming to get it. So teachers, tutorial people do this as well, like you know, sign up to my Patreon to get the behind the scenes course of how to become better at marketing yourself, or whatever, like whatever the course is. I don't have any marketing videos. I probably should make one more about that, but I feel like if I was going to market it as a marketing video, I might need to actually learn marketing language. Marketing to me is just posting stuff all over Twitter and Instagram and letting people know what I'm doing, letting people know when they can find me live, showing people what I've done, and things like that. Marketing to me is just broadcasting and posting online strategically. So yeah. Okay. Next is Alpen Glow Up. I don't feel like my audience is like me at all. Let me see if I can find that over here. I don't feel like my audience is like me at all. No shared interests and demographics outside of the game I stream. Is that inherently bad? I don't think so. That's actually kind of interesting. And I think that this will happen for a lot of different reasons. So for example, when I was streaming all of the Dark Souls games, my audience was mostly male. I think I had like a 70 to 80% male audience. There's a lot of reasons for that I could unpack that I don't feel like unpacking right now. But yeah, so when I was streaming that more adrenaline-based content, I had more of a male audience. All that I didn't even really have a lot in common with them, except probably the personality, sense of humor, and things like that. Hi, Rogue Nerd. So no, I don't think it's inherently bad at all. And I know I was talking earlier about how you having a strong identity means that brands have an easier time of working with you because they see what kind of audience would be invested in you. But brands, when they're reaching out to work with you, they should be doing their due diligence. So this depends on how competent they are. They should be doing their due diligence of researching not only you, but your audience in general. And they can find that information very easily by just scrolling through the comments and things like that, just kind of getting a feel for. And also when working with brands and stuff, there's a possibility. I don't think I've ever sent this information to anybody that I've worked with in the past, but this is, what are they called? Somebody help me out. Content Galaxy or Panthera will probably know. It's a sheet that you create that has your like analytics and your demographics. So I have like right now, I think on YouTube we're 60% female, 40% male, and the majority of y'all, something like 60% of y'all, are between the ages of 25 and 35. So that information can be condensed along with my concurrent viewership, my follower count, and my impressions per month and stuff like that, that can be condensed into one little infographic sheet that you would send to the company so they can get a feel for that demographic. So just because you don't match what your audience isn't necessarily a bad thing. Yeah. Okay. Analytics, Social Blade. It's got a specific word and I can't think of what it is, but you can make one on Canva. There's a format. It's like a streamer card, not just a streamer card though. It's media kit. God, thank you. It's called a media kit. You can Google for a media kit and see what I'm talking about. That you can make one on Canva, but it's just an overview of, and a lot of people, once they start getting ready to try to outreach to brands, will go ahead and have one created and like pinned on their Twitter profile. You don't have to be a huge creator to do this. It's a very professional move to go ahead and get set up with it. So yeah. No, I don't think that's inherently bad. Now, if you feel like it is, if you're looking at your interests and demographics and you're like, I don't, and then you're feeling disconnected from them when you're live, then you might need to start to analyze and figure out what you can change to attract the audience that you want and remove to get rid of some of those audience members that you don't necessarily want. Another example I could think of is if you're maybe a Minecraft streamer and your audience is nothing but 13 and 14-year-olds, and you really want to be able to have more mature conversations and discussions. So how can you change your content up so that the children stop watching you and the adults start tuning in? Okay, let's go on to lore and legends. This leads to my only question. Do you think there is enough of an audience? Do you think there is enough of an audience to discuss stories and writing in video games? I'm also an author and would love to run streams about your own writing. I think that this is an opinion-based question. I think that starting out talking about your writing, I'm going to be blunt, you probably won't get a large audience because and I don't know you personally, so I'm bluntly answering this to a generic identity of this. Who are you? Why would I care about your writing? Have you published books? Do I know you from something? Why do I care to hear about this random person's opinion about them writing something I have no idea what it is? So this is the question to answer. This is the question to consider. Who are you and why do people care, right? So a different way that you could start, and this is what a lot of people on YouTube and stuff will do, they start with trending topics. So what you could do, yes, there's plenty of an audience for you to pursue content like this, discussing writing. Look up BookTube. Everything on BookTube is exactly what I'm about to talk about in relation to what you're posting. Book TikTok, it's probably got a different name, but there's niches for it. On Twitch, you'll be in the just chatting category or the podcast and talk shows category. I'm a little hesitant on Twitch because I wonder how much of a demand there is, but at the same time, how much of a demand would there really have been for tarot? And it's growing slowly because people were willing to step up and be leaders in that category. So BookTube, what I wanted to say about this is like what you could start with is this is what I see a lot of people who are authors. There's a girl, oh man, I can't think of her name now. She's someone I really enjoy though. But they start out by analyzing, criticizing, and reviewing books, and they give their opinion, and you can sprinkle in and mention throughout those reviews, oh, well, in my experience of trying to write this way, it didn't work out. And then at that point, over time, your audience is going to learn to appreciate your opinions on these books, and they will also learn to respect you as an authority because they see your opinions over time, they hear your expertise, your credentials and all of that, and eventually they're going to start to become curious about what you write, and that is when you can start to lead into marketing and selling your own books. And then once you get enough of an audience, like not only interested in your reviews, but you're starting to sell your books, then you would be able to lead into Q&As and about your books and ask me anything about my the recent novel that I put out. Like it's a logical progression of interest and credibility and authority in the subject, right? Okay. Reading books on Twitch could be in the ASMR category. The only thing about reading books on Twitch, and I've done this before, I read A Little Princess, the books need to be this could eventually get, it's a gray area. There's a lot of stuff that's a gray area as far as copyright and stuff on Twitch. It's a little hard to police it. We're still kind of in a wild, wild west moment of the internet. If I were to read Harry Potter, for example, I could get, my channel could get a flag on it. I'm reading copyrighted material. But if I read like I read A Little Princess, it's in the public domain. So you can read books that are in the public domain. And typically they have to be, you can Google to learn more about that. I don't remember it exactly off the top of my head, but I think it's something like after 80 to 100 years, unless the copyright has been updated, they fall into the public domain. And some books are just outright published in the public domain. So it's worth Googling and checking up. Stuff like Frankenstein and 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, these old classics are typically in the public domain at this point. Marky, have a wonderful night. Thank you for being here. TGI Fishbowl, I haven't seen your question in the list yet. I'm going in chronological order that Panthera is cultivating for me. But if it is, I saw something about asking me in Discord, so if it was something that you wanted to chat with me in Discord about, we could do that, you know, over the next couple of days or something. Also, I do want to let everyone know, tomorrow in the Offbeats Discord, we are going to be doing that reminds me, we're going to be doing our stream review, our streamer check-in session. So there's a Discord link in the chat. It's going to be at 5 p.m. Eastern. So let me just make sure on that. Yeah, tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern, we all meet up in the voice chat, and just kind of get to know each other a little bit, swap questions and stories and you know, does my profile look okay? Can someone check my audio? So we kind of go back and forth and do a little streamer check-in, stream review, and that usually runs for a couple of hours. So if you wanted a more direct question, I run that along with a couple of our stream guides in the Offbeats. So Content Galaxy in the chat tonight will be helping me run that and moderate that, and possibly character select depending on their availability. So, oh my god, the vanity URL, I forgot we have it now, don't we? Okay, so I'm gonna move on to the next one that Panthera has for me, which is, how are we doing? We're at an hour and a half. Okay, I might go for another hour or so. Broadcast from Mars says, more to YouTube. I want to post more to YouTube, but I don't know how to edit videos. Any tips for beginner video editors? Script it. So it depends on what kind of content, but I will say that the videos that I've been scripting lately, the editing process has been so much nicer, and I've been so much more proud of the videos after they're up. The one that I just did last week, Tough Love for Small Streamers, has been one of my favorite videos that I've made probably this whole year. And it's because I spent time editing or scripting it so that when I came into the editing process, I didn't have to, a lot of times with my videos, my brain is so all over the place, ADHD, it's so all over the place that I'll start in one topic, I'll transfer to another, and then 10 minutes later, I circle back around to the first topic. So when I'm editing, I'm finding that I have to Frankenstein and chop up the video, and it'll take me hours and hours to just try to make some logical sense of the word vomit that I just did. So if I at least outline or blueprint or script it lightly, or script it heavily, it's just depending on what you're comfortable with, the editing process goes so much better. Now, if we're talking just like a, what do we call it? Flow of stream of consciousness, kind of thing, then you don't have to worry about scripting. And a lot of more review style videos or reaction or just like vlog updates and stuff, they work a lot better when they're not scripted. So it depends on what kind of content it is that you're trying to create. But I would definitely give yourself like a specific focus so that you know what you're trying to do. And now you say that you don't know how to edit videos. I would learn the very bare basics. I wouldn't worry about editing in memes, and this is my approach with just about everything. Start with the basics. So learn how to run the program just from learn the layout of the program, learn how to import the video, and learn how to cut out parts and move things around in the timeline. That's all you need to learn in the beginning. You don't need to worry about intros. You don't need to worry about background music, adding in memes and sound effects and transitions and fades and and all of that. Learn how to do the jump cuts, the cutting stuff out and pushing stuff together, and learn how to export the video. Start there. And that I would give yourself a couple of days to learn all of that stuff, and then practice with the first video. And then maybe your next video, this is how I learned to animate in Adobe After Effects as well. I started with the bare basics, and then the next thing I got in, I was like, okay, I want to learn how to make a text like pulsates, like get bigger and then get smaller. So I Googled that specific thing that I wanted to learn, and then I had one more little skill that I added on. And then the next week it's like, all right, now I want to learn how to make this fade out and fade in. So then I learned that skill. I add one little skill on every single time I do a new project. Maybe not every single time, but whenever I'm feeling inspired to pull a new skill on. So maybe your first couple of videos, you just do the bare basics of cutting it up. And then you're like, okay, now I really want to learn how to add an intro video to this, because I think that'll polish it up. Or now I really want to learn how to add a sound effect. Start there. Add one little thing on at a time. Thank you, Jan. I'm really proud of that tough love for small streamers. I think it's just because it was a little more blunt than I normally am. I feel like I'm getting a little more blunt lately, which becoming a little bit more direct with my language, which I like. I don't like being I don't like being very passive. I do, but I don't. It feels better to just be direct. If it's easier. All right. Also, they're free video editing apps. I prefer Adobe Premiere. I'm an Adobe person. I've been using Adobe for 15 years, probably longer, since 2006. Yeah, that's 15 years. But there's, what is it? What's it? It's the name of an author. It's not Rembrandt. I mean, it's an artist. That's a free video editing app. Resolve? Oh, I can't think of it. Somebody in chat will probably know, but there is a free video editing app that's available. DaVinci? Is that what it's called? DaVinci? It's an artist. I was like, do you believe, all right, we got our next question from seb.com. DaVinci Resolve. There we go. Thank you. Should be free. I do prefer Premiere. DaVinci Resolve was a little confusing to me, to be honest, which I was surprised by. I thought I'd be able to pick it up pretty easily, but I think I'm just it's hard. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. I was like, I already know how to use Premiere. Let me just stick with it. Like there's no need for me to learn. But if you're just getting started and you can't afford, I understand Adobe products are expensive. I just do the monthly subscription service, but it's up to you to question if the investment is worth it or not. You could always just start with a free one. Oh, Granny Gamer, it's so good to see you here. Thank you for joining in. You're definitely not too old. We gotta definitely change that around. You'd be surprised. I think that it's very cool to see granny gamers. There's quite a few that I watch that are in the older generation. What do we call them? The boomer generation, the generation above us. And I think that that's a very unsaturated market. So I think you'd be surprised at how easy, maybe I won't use the word easy because I don't want to give you like a false expectation, but I think that you stand out because there's a dime a dozen 30-year-olds playing video games, but there's not very many silver-haired people playing video games unless they've dyed it silver to be trendy and cool. Okay, so Seb.com X has a question that says, do you believe it is possible to get a following by doing variety streaming? Yes, I do. I tackled this subject pretty heavily when I did the Valkyrie video last month, where she started as a variety streamer and she eventually just fully became only a Fortnite streamer. I'm gonna echo her thoughts on it a little bit here because I think it's important. And her analytics were very pointed with showcasing this, but she basically talked about how she was able to maintain between 100 to 300 viewers as a variety streamer, and they were like ride or dies. These are people that'll show up no matter what you're doing at any point in time. They just like your personality. But when she started like maining into Fortnite, she like it's difficult with her because it also lines up with when she moved to LA into a streamer house and started on the ground networking with like other people in the Hollywood LA area. You know what I mean? So it's a little difficult to say that this is like to just say this is factual. I'd have to look at a couple more examples, but I mean, I could even say for my own channel here on YouTube, I was doing variety content, and my channel did really well when I had that viral Twitch tutorial video. But then when I started niching into Twitch tutorials and maining Twitch tutorials, I started getting steady growth. But eventually, and I can't say this will happen for everyone, but I would imagine for like you're if you start out as a variety content creator, you don't want to be stuck in a box doing the same thing over and over and over again. So you might find yourself migrating back to variety, but I think that that's a solid growth strategy, is coming in, niching down and getting a what do we call it? Like a foundation of an audience around you, which is basically where I feel like I'm at with my journey right now. I feel like I've come in and I've built a pretty solid audience. I mean, look at all of y'all here hanging out tonight. It's a solid audience built around the niche that I did on the Twitch tutorial subject. And now over the next year, I'm going to start trying to migrate, not fully away from it, because I think that I will probably always take on a teacher role in my life, period. And I love sharing tech tips. Even back in MySpace days in 2006, 2007, I was teaching people how to customize their MySpace layouts and making custom MySpace layouts for people. This is just, that's who I think I'll always be. But I also like music and makeup and tarot and talking about movies. And so I want all of that to be able to be involved as well. So now that I've built a baseline of an audience, gravitating and transitioning back into the variety will allow me to feel better as a creator. So pulling back away from myself and into this question, do you believe it's possible to get a following by doing variety streaming? Yes, if you have a consistent personality and if you have a consistent schedule, and if you don't play one game for 2 hours and then another game for 2 hours and never finish a game. I think that if you follow a game all the way through to the end, you're going to pick up 1 or 2 people. So play Dark Souls and beat it, and you'll probably pull a full. Then when you start playing BioShock, a few people will probably cross over and say, I just had such a good time with you, and I love BioShock too, so I'm here for the ride. And then you'll pick up a few people from the BioShock category, and then you'll move into a new game. Finish games. You don't have to force yourself to if you don't like the game, though. I didn't finish Dark Souls, for example. I beat Ornstein and Smo, and that was enough for me. It's like, this counts as a victory to me. I win. But I transferred into a different game that was kind of in the same genre. So you can kind of keep a general thread of people with you. And it's possible you might see like a wall at a certain point. What Valkyrie said as well is that if she played one game and she went to another, not everybody would come with her from one game to the next. So you're not always going to have people following you from each game to the other. Like, for example, I have someone on my Twitch channel called, their username is Turin Stardew. And I only ever see them in my channel when I play Stardew Valley. Obviously, they're interested in Stardew, right? But whenever I do tarot, I don't see them there because they don't have an interest in it. So as a variety streamer, not all of your audience members are going to tune in for every single piece of content that you make. But as a main streamer, like I only play Fortnite or I only do tarot, I think in some ways you're limiting yourself because you're not able to branch out and pull in people from all of these vast interests that you have. So you might end up feeling burnt out on the subject matter because you have more interest than that, and you don't have anyone that you can talk to about makeup and stuff because everyone's just here to hear you talk about Fortnite, right? When it comes to games, do you stay with what's trending when you're under... I'm jumping out of line a little bit. Sorry, I just saw it. Where'd it go? When it comes to games, do you stay with what's trending when you're under 1K followers on Twitch? I don't think follower count is something that you should be worried about, period, on Twitch. My opinion, but I think that follower count is a little irrelevant. Viewer count is more of an actual like measuring thing to me. Because like, I mean, for example, I have 10,000 followers on Twitch, but I only have 50 average viewers. And that is something that I get, not criticized, but poked at every now and again. Because I also see people who have 1,000 followers on Twitch and they average 50 viewers. Follower count doesn't really mean anything. We're looking for engagement over everything. So, And I also don't feel like chasing trends is, I think that incorporating trends into what you're doing is smart, but chasing and only doing trends is, I think, going to burn you out and make you feel like people don't actually like you for you. And you always have to do what is the popular thing, right? So yeah, I would cut out the whole last half of this question. When it comes to games, do you stay with what's trending? Like, yes and no. Sometimes sprinkle them in. Like I did, what do you call it? The unpacking game yesterday. Oh, hi, Blurk. I did the unpacking game yesterday, which was a brand new indie game that came out, but that category was poppin'. And I got like 4 or 5 raids that day from other people in the unpacking category that I'd never met before. They didn't know about my YouTube channel. They had not seen me stream at all. They just saw me in the unpacking category and they were raiding into that category. It was a trending game that popped off. Another category I think is like New World is probably one to watch, although it's heavily saturated, but I think that there's probably quite a bit of growth that could be had if you were strategic about it right now. And Animal Crossing, y'all, if y'all burnt out on Animal Crossing, pick it back up, dust it off. They just put that, they're releasing the update in a couple of days. That category is about to pop off for a couple of months. And I think it will fade again. It'll fade away again in a couple of months. But if you want to jump into the Animal Crossing category, then I think that would be a pretty lucrative area to focus on right now. But if you don't really like Animal Crossing and you're just doing it because it's trending, oh my God, the Animal Crossing fans that are tuning in are going to smell that immediately and they're not going to like you and they're going to leave. So you got to make sure that you're doing stuff that you like. Okay. Okay. Blurk, thank you. I appreciate you so much. I hope you're having a good day. Who do we have next? Where can I find music to use in videos? That's not one that I can't even actually, where do I, all right, well, I can't get it up on screen, but the question is, where can I find music to use in videos? I search for royalty-free music. So do a Google for royalty-free music. You could do Twitch-friendly music, and copyright-free music. You just want to double check. You got to do your due diligence because some YouTube playlists say that it's copyright-free, but it's not. Do your due diligence. Or you could be really proactive and really creative, and you could find music on SoundCloud and stuff like that. Look for indie musicians, find their music on SoundCloud that matches your energy. Maybe you don't just want to listen to lo-fi royalty free. You want to have like rap in the background, or you want to have metal in the background. Go on SoundCloud and search for indie artists, and then reach out to them, message them and say, hey, I love your music. Could I use this on my Twitch live streams if I credit you? And offer credit and add a little panel in your Twitch About section that's like music featured in my streams, and create your own playlists. I think that would be such a beautiful collaborative way for indie creators. We're small businesses as Twitch streamers. A small Twitch streamer to feature a small musician, get their music in the background and get that music heard by more ears, and help them grow as they help you grow, because it brings a really cool music vibe. That's high effort. It's a very high effort thing to do. I think it would be really cool if we were doing more of it, though. I think that would be very smart for us to be helping each other as artists like that. But the quick shortcut is royalty-free music playlists on YouTube, and then just double checking and hoping that they're not lying about the playlist that they've created. Okay. Geekish Senpai has a question that says, how do I find where my audience is at? Oh, which are geeks and nerds, so I can stick to 1 to 3 social media. Also, I started my Discord server. Do I still need Twitter to communicate with people? Yes. Discord server is a dead end. It's great to have, and it will create very intimate connections with you and your audience. I'm a big supporter of Discord. I actually want to do a whole video series. I can't tell y'all when it's going to be. I don't want to false promise, but I want to do a video series talking about creating technical wise, like how to set up roles and all of this, the technical stuff, but also more the strategy of how to create a community on Discord, an engaged community on Discord. So where can I find my audiences at? This is what are you interested in? You know, you say geeks and nerds, but that's very generic. What is a geek and a nerd to you? Are you talking D&D? a D&D nerd is totally different from a Fortnite nerd. They're totally different. So you've got to figure out what you focus in. Do you like fantasy romance novels? Do you like, is it D&D that you like? Do you like anime, but only the subtitled versions? You don't watch dubs. Like what makes you a geek? What is geeky about you? Write those things down, and look at them. You don't have to be too super specific. Like I like Cowboy Bebop, but you like anime. We know that, right? Or you like cartoons, you like animation. So figure out what it actually is that and then start to look for those hashtags. And maybe, if it was D&D, you could, I think that if you did like a series review of Stranger Things, that you would probably reach some D&D fans because it has big D&D elements throughout the series. So start to try to make content, whether it's reviewing content in the same genre or finding video games that are related to D&D that would be worth either streaming or reviewing, and stuff like that. Try to focus in that small subgenre that you've created. Geek and nerd is too big. It's way too big. That's like saying I'm interested in makeup. So are probably 50% of the world. So many people are interested in makeup, but I'm interested in specifically like drag makeup or like alternative goth makeup. That's getting a little bit more niche down, a little bit more focused. So that's what we've got to do, is we've got to pull down into our little focuses. Okay, now, sorry, I don't mean to, I had a lot of coffee today. I don't mean to do that, like, frustrated sounding sigh. That's because I'm talking a lot. I'm not breathing as much as I should, and I'm over caffeinated. So I can stick to 1 to 3 social media. Oh, and just, yes, Discord server is good, but keep a Twitter or something else so that you still have discoverability, so more people can find you. All right. I heard you say you have ADHD. I do as well, and because of that, I have too many ideas and a hard time getting them organized and prioritized. How do you do it? Me and my ADHD are we're friends at this point. I like my ADHD. I didn't know I had it until I was 23. I'm 33 now, so I've known for 10 years that I've had it. I've gone back and forth on medications. I'm currently I'm not medicated for it, but that's neither here nor there. Just letting y'all know what my situation is with it, so my question will make more sense. I see it as a superpower. I see it as a specialty. I see it as a technique of existing in the world. I think that we have ADHD, or it's a word that we use to describe a very alert and attentive, and like we're out in the woods and I hear a little snap and I'm like, oh, a squirrel, or is a monster. Like it's the ability to multifocus, right? I don't have to go into a whole deep dive on ADHD. I just really value it, and I don't, anyone that has it, I think that you should really value it. You have ADHD brains are primed for Twitch streaming because we have to multitask and do a million things at the same time. And the alerts going off over here, check this over there, I'm still playing the video game. Like, I think we're super primed for it, right? And then the hyper focus kicks in, and then you get everything done and you pass out for 3 days. Yeah, it's a back and forth. And then for further, I also have bipolar. So I deal with a lot. This is why I've burnt out. I addressed this in that Tough Love for Small Streamers. And somebody still came at me in my comments and was like, I don't think you really answered this question. You probably should have grown farther. Well, I had undiagnosed bipolar, and I was going through manic depressive episodes constantly. I was burning out on top of it too. That was directly related to it. So there was a lot going on with my mental health. I think that people that have mental health struggles are not going to fast track to success online, and it's not going to be a linear path. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be the Twitch tutorial, the video that you watched on YouTube and I followed all the steps and I'm Twitch famous or whatever. Like, it's not, there's a lot of stuff that we have to navigate around when you're neurodivergent or you have mental health struggles. So I want you to be patient with yourself is the first thing I want to say. I want you to appreciate yourself and celebrate what your successes along the way, and give yourself grace and patience and space, right? Blurk, thank you so much for becoming a member. Aw. Welcome in to our very lovely little new curious kitty. I appreciate you. So now more to the practical side of this, because I'm giving you the fluffy feel goods and value yourself and see the good in it. And I think that's good too. But practically, planners. Finding a planner, finding a way that I can organize. Specifically, if I'm going to specifically answer what worked for me, it was literally an iPad with good notes. And I didn't think I was going to like digital planning I love paper planning. I tried bullet journals though. I tried like the planners you get at Michael's. I tried making my own planners that weren't bullet journals, that were more scrapbook ones. But a planner, a physical planner, something that I can actually like see and structure and get my to-do lists. But the digital version of it, so that I can edit and move it around and change the size and change the color and add stickers and have all of that kind of fun with it. Organizing through a digital planner on GoodNotes. Blurk, thank you so much for the super chat. Aw. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. This is God's work, my guru. I appreciate you. Thank you for the support, Blurk. So I did design a planner for GoodNotes that's free download on my Gumroad if you're interested, but you can also just Google and find your own. I'm not always just trying to like shill y'all on products, but you can Google and find GoodNotes planners, or you could just use the GoodNotes app. They have some pre-built-in sheets that you can use. But beyond that, specifically what's helped me from GoodNotes is having a monthly overview sheet, a weekly overview sheet, and then just to-do lists available, and having setting myself specific goals. Welcome in, Brittany. Goal setting, but we have to have actionable goals. So what's your large goal? And then break that down into 5 steps. So I want to be a Twitch partner, right? That's probably as Twitch streamers, that's probably most of our big goal. I want to become a Twitch partner. How is that actionable? How can we break that down? I have to hit 75 average viewers, and then maybe we know that's the metric goal, but what else is this? I need to have 20 hours a week that I can stream. So we already know that we need to address, we're working 40 hours at a full-time job and blah, 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 and set up all of these sub goals. And if we're on our way to 75 goals, let's celebrate hitting 20. Let's work up to 30. Let's work up to 40. And then we have to break down, how can I get to 30 average viewers? I'm already at 20. How do I get to 30? What do I need to change up to get there? And asking yourself these questions along the way. PDF ones too, a PDF planner, if you can't use GoodNotes. That's just personally for me what I'm using, GoodNotes, but there's a lot of different options. And if you don't use a digital planner, a bullet journal, like a little blank notebook that you fill out yourself. Bullet journals are supposed to be some of the best ones for people with ADHD. It frustrates me because having to hand draw the layouts really frustrates me. And in GoodNotes, I can just copy and paste the pages. I'm much better digitally than I am physically when it comes to that kind of thing. So, but there's a lot of different options. Specifically having the stuff put on a calendar, a planner, has helped me when it comes to like my ADHD issues. Seeing it on paper and knowing, because I will also overcommit to things. Someone will ask me, hey, can I talk to you tomorrow in voice chat? This happened earlier tonight. So it's like, hey, can I talk to you in voice chat tomorrow? And I might just knee jerk say, yeah, let's talk tomorrow. And then I forgot already that I promised that I would go out to lunch with someone else, right? So keeping a planner makes me not overcommit and overpromise and overschedule and forget about things that I've set up for myself already in the past. And getting a planner. Okay, that point is stressed enough. What else has helped me when it comes to ADHD? Wow, I don't know. Prioritizing. I think that it really is like over time, asking myself, how long do I want to be in this mental cycle? Journaling too, and then reviewing it after a couple of weeks and looking back and seeing what kind of mental spirals I'm stuck in. Like, oh my God, for the last 3 weeks, I keep saying that I really want to, like, I'm so frustrated because I don't have clothes or whatever that I want. And I need to downsize my wardrobe, like looking at my mental patterns over a long period through journaling. I also want to say streaming in general has kind of helped me because it is something where people, I think, with ADHD thrive, with the way that you have to go about multitasking and managing. So it's kind of made me feel a little bit more empowered and capable, because I think it's a job that I'm well suited for. Yeah, I guess that's it. Maybe I want to think about this and come back and answer this in a YouTube video, because I feel like this is a really, really good subject, but I think I need to sit and think and really Like what specifically has helped me with my ADHD when it comes to this, especially because I'm not. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm gonna revisit that in a video so that I can really think on it, because I think that's worth a better answer than just get a planner. Telling someone with ADHD to get a planner is not really that helpful, and I understand that. I think that's why I'm wanting to have more of an answer for you right now. Okay, so let's move on. Julia Foy. Oh man. Oh, well, I clicked that one. So I found you on YouTube first, where you're more family friendly. And when I first heard you slip up and cuss on Twitch, that's when I was like, oh my geez, she's being real, not trying to be rated G for views. Yeah, I let it slip out occasionally, but I don't like to a lot. And I've really lowered the more vulgar words. So like the shit, hell, dams and stuff, I'll slip out more. The occasional F-bomb comes out. I've been trying to dial them back though. So Julia says, how do you come up with what you're going to talk about on stream, videos, or whatever? Oh my gosh, Slade, hi, how's it going? So let's see. I hate bullet journaling and ADHD thing is propaganda. That's a big subject, Bex. That's a deep brain conversation. Okay, so how do you come up with what you're going to talk about on stream or videos or whatever? On stream, I think that it's a good suggestion to have a little notebook next to you of things that you want to talk about on your stream. If you have trouble rambling, I don't have trouble talking. I really don't. I'm a triple Gemini. I'm a Gemini stellium. My Gemini Sun, Gemini Mercury. I don't know how to shut up, okay? I don't run into this issue. If you do, so I don't keep a sheet of paper next to me that has bullet points of things I want to talk about while I'm live. I just literally word vomit whatever's coming up to the front of my little brain, which could get me into trouble sometimes. But if you do have an issue, because not everyone is a motor mouth that never shuts up, then I do think that the suggestion of throughout the day, like, oh, this one, now I'm suddenly thinking about this story of this thing that happened to me in 4th grade. Let me write this down. And I can talk about that in a dead space moment on my Twitch streams, right? Like a little, yeah, like a cheat sheet to have next to you. That's just like little things that you enjoy talking about. So I know, Julia, you do art and stuff. So maybe you could think about a good starting point, stories from art classes in high school, bad art teachers. You've had great art teachers, try to think about stuff that's relevant, or products that you like or don't like, and when it comes to art, things that are relevant to what you're doing. Or maybe you are an artist and you paint, but you're also deeply in love with fantasy novels, fantasy movies. Maybe you could watch a movie, like if you're streaming on Mondays and Thursdays, Sunday night, watch a movie that you intend to talk about the next day. So maybe watch The Labyrinth Sunday night, and then Monday while you're painting, just do a really long, deep dive explanation of, literally tell everyone what the movie is about. Give a summary of the movie, and then react and express and analyze and criticize and review it as you're doing that. So, or something like that. Maybe that'll give you a good jumping point. Either have a list of talking points of things that have happened to you over the last couple of days. Like, tell everyone about that guy that almost cut me off at the red light in front of the grocery store a couple days ago, and tell everyone about the cool 4-leaf clover I found and how it was so. Oh, speaking of which, I was driving home from the grocery store today. It's really short, I swear. I was driving home from the grocery store today, and there's a creek right at the bottom of my my neighborhood, and as I was driving along the road that runs parallel to the creek, there was a blue heron that was flying over the water, but in between the creek bed, and it was right next to my car. And so I was driving with a heron next to me, and we were like parallel and holding. That was such a cool moment. It literally just happened earlier tonight. It was such a cool moment. I'm sorry. But that's what I mean. It's like little things that happen that are worth like talking about. Jot those down. Like that if I was the person that would need to remember, like I needed to fill space, I would write down, tell everyone about the heron, tell everyone about the heron, tell everyone about the leaves changing and how you're really sad because all the leaves are almost gone and it's cold now and the fog is rolling in. Okay. So, on streams or videos, video wise. So there's two suggestions I could give for this. The first is to listen to your audience. If people are asking you questions, make videos about the things that people are asking you about and follow up with them in video format. They're helping you create content. They're helping you come up with content ideas. And the second idea is, we're on 69 likes. Thanks everybody. The second suggestion I can give here is, oh no, brain, come back. There goes the ADHD. First one was, suggestions from the audience. Second one was scoping out your competition. So before, I had a lot of people in my chat or in my comments on YouTube, but I was deciding I was going to do Twitch tutorial style videos. What I could do is jump to some of these other Twitch tutorial creators, you know, like the Gale Levels and the Stream Scheme people or whatever they're called, and the Alpha Gaming, like these big content creators in the genre that I'm interested in maining. I will say that I haven't needed to do this because I've constantly had to do like a long to-do list of like video ideas. Let's do this video. Let's do this video. Let's do this video. But what you could do if you don't have the subject matter is find this competition or people who are in the same genre. Or if you don't know what your you don't know what your competition is or what the people in the same field are, who's a YouTuber that you like and you want to be like, you know? Gina Marbles, do you want to do like Gina Marbles videos? Go through her videos and see if anything. Don't copy. I'm not telling anybody to copy or just rip off stuff. What I'm saying is you could scroll through and it's like, oh wow, Gina Marbles did a video where she put on 50 layers of mascara. You know, that'd probably be fun to try with like lipstick or, you know, a wigs or something. Like, how can you be inspired by the type of content that you already enjoy, and pull ideas from that. So that's a way, if you don't already have these ideas of what videos to make, is try to just find inspiration amongst other people who are content creators that are either in the field that you want to go into or are creators that you want to be more like and have content similar to theirs. Don't copy people. All right, we've got one from, how am I doing? We got quite a few to go to. Oh Lord, and we're 2 hours. All right, I don't want to go over 3 hours tonight, so let me try to stop being so long-winded. All right, Funky Peanuts says, great videos. They've been helping me get started streaming. Thank you, Funky. Welcome in. What advice would you give someone who's putting themselves out there for the first time and who isn't outgoing? Just do it. Rip the Band-Aid off. Press go live. Quit stressing about everything. Quit being, and I saw someone earlier in chat mention something about perfectionism. We gotta stop. It's never gonna be perfect. It's never gonna be what we want it to be. Even at the start of my tonight stream, I had a bunch of troubleshooting I had to do right off the bat. Yeah, I think probably stop taking questions, Panthera, because we still got, there's like a dozen more people over here. So, or a dozen more questions over here. So yeah, probably don't add any more to the list. Unless you think they are like, must answer these. So what would you give someone who's putting themselves out there for the first time and who isn't outgoing? Okay, I think that maybe something I haven't discussed tonight is having someone come on stream with you, even if it's just on voice. So I know that this might not help everybody because not everyone has a friend that can do this with them, but having a friend play the video game with you, but making sure that you're prioritizing chat when they come in so that you can actually like get invested in an audience that's starting to watch you. But having somebody be on voice with you that you're already yourself around. So this isn't like a new person that you've just met. This is someone that you're already yourself around, and your layers are all down and you're already telling your jokes and you're so it makes you more comfortable and willing to do it and able to do it. Your first couple of streams, you probably won't have a ton of viewers or people chatting, because I do think that having people on voice, small baby streamers, people that are under like 5 viewers, 10 viewers, that area, I think a big draw of wanting to watch people like that is the one-on-one interaction. People that are feeling lonely and looking for one individual, like someone to hang out with. So when you're doing collaborative streams with other people on voice, I think that can kind of maybe chase away a little bit of that type of viewership that could come from that. But that's not, I don't want that to discourage you from trying to do that. But but it's something I've noticed, and something that I will notice if I'm looking for like a streamer to talk to and I go in and they've already got 2 or 3 of their friends on voice chat. I'll probably leave because I know from experience, if I try to talk to them, they're going to give me short, curt, like, oh, hey, what's up, Shady? How are you? Oh, so anyway, friend in chat that I'm talking to, I'm going to continue our conversation over here, right? Their priorities are on the conversation they're having on voice, but it's also different types of content for different types of viewers. Some viewers might be more shy and don't want to speak up in the chat, and they just want to listen to other people that are playing a game that they like, that are having fun, that they enjoy the sense of humor of. So I think that there's multiple ways that you could take this, and I think they're just as valuable, and they're going to create different kinds of audiences too, is the other thing. So yeah, having a friend on voice would probably help someone who's shyer and has a hard time being themselves on camera, especially if stage fright and stuff is playing a big role with this. Now, if you don't have a friend that can do that, you're just going to have to practice. You're going to have to practice, and you're going to have to, I would say, probably try to make friends in the streamer category. The streamer field that are playing the games that you like, that have a low viewership. I don't mean to make anybody feel a type of way about what kind of viewership they have by making it seem like it's bad that you only have 2 viewers, but find people that have a roughly the same number of viewers as you and start to try to maybe create a friendship there. We're not doing the follow for follow or the we're friends now because we both have 2 viewers. Like, you want to look for people that have the same sense of humor and you feel like you could vibe with. So, oh, you have interesting people. Awesome, Funky. Do you think a double monitor is necessary or a stream tool? I don't think that they're necessary. I will say I have 3 monitors. I couldn't do it without all 3 of them. I certainly couldn't do it without 2 monitors, especially if you're gaming. But I do see, if you're not capable right now, I see people pulling up their Twitch stream on their phone, and I would just prop it up in front of you somehow so that it's really close to this monitor, so you're not always like if I was constantly like looking over here and like talking this way, because that's how I have to look to read chat. Like, try to have your phone in front. If you're going to use your phone as your chat monitor and you only have one monitor, try to keep it, visible, so that I'm not like fully turning my whole body and attention away, and especially like from the microphone. But I would streamline getting that second monitor as soon as possible if you're a gamer. So that you can. I don't think a stream deck is necessary at all, but I think it's handy. I only turn my stream deck on like once a week for my tarot streams. The rest of my gaming streams, there's a couple of times where I'm like, oh, I wish I could just press the button for the emotes, but it's fine. Like, for a small streamer, no. I think once you get closer to like a rapid moving chat that's hard for you to moderate, we're closer to the 70 to 150 viewer mark, you've got a very active, invested audience. At that point, I think that a stream deck could actually be a useful tool for you. But it also depends on what kind of content you want to make. Are you a more dynamic video creator and you're constantly switching scenes and you have zoom ins that you're doing and you're trying to live produce the meme reaction so that you have less editing to do? A stream deck might be worth investing in early on then. Geekish Senpai, I'm going to jump on that one too really quick, and then I'm going to go back to the order. But is it true companies won't sponsor you and give you free products, games to review if your content isn't family friendly? Cussing, inappropriate, too much 21 plus inappropriate content. I cuss. I talk about weird subjects sometimes, and I drank on stream a while back. I don't drink anymore, but I've been sponsored and given free products regardless. There's also companies that specifically want to work with people who have more adult focused content. So I also wouldn't tell you to go into content creation focusing on how you can get brands and sponsors. I think that your priorities are off if that is what's driving you to change your personality. There are brands and sponsors that will work with you, and I mean there's tons of streamers who are sponsored by Logitech or they work with Logitech. Funky Peanut, thank you so much for that super chat. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here and for the question as well. But there's a lot of people that I see on Twitch who are cussing a storm. They talk about sex all the time and stuff like this, and they work with Logitech. They have a sponsorship from who else? There it goes. Thank you so much, Funky Peanut. So I would not compromise your authenticity for sponsorships and stuff like that, because sponsors will still come. I mean, Adam and Eve exists, right? They're going to sponsor more adult focused company or adult focused creators. There's like alcohol companies or beer companies that would probably be happy to work with, vape companies, like all. I can think of a bunch of different examples, and then even like certain entertainment industry companies or technology companies. As long as you're not hateful, I think that's the like hateful vulgarity is the issue, right? Okay, back in line. Oh, this one's a cool question. Lunavid says, do you have any recommendations for someone who is planning on streaming in English but nervous since it's their second language? I record myself a lot to practice fast pronunciation. I think that it's a great idea to I'm so envious of people who speak more than one language, and I think that if English is not your first language and you're going to be streaming in English, that's really, really cool of you. And I also think that it's really interesting. I think that's a selling point, because you're going to build an audience that's like, wait, I want to hear you speak in Portuguese, or say something in Portuguese, say something in Spanish, say something in Japanese. I want to hear, like, I think that it's you know, a selling point in a certain way, if we want to think about it in like marketable terms, capitalist terms. But I wouldn't be too hard on yourself about that. I think that if you have people that are coming in or being assholes to you, to be vulgar, they're being mean to you because you know, you said your grammar wasn't perfect, or they're making fun of your accent, I'd just get rid of them. I wouldn't keep people around that are being mean to you, especially when you are going out of your way to speak a new language. But of course you want to work on your accent, and you want to work on the pronunciation and the grammar and stuff over time. But I think this is really cool. I think this is awesome. There are also a lot of tags available on Twitch. Thank you for the super chat, Blurk. I appreciate you. There are tags on Twitch for the specific languages that you are streaming in. So I'm friends with a couple of German streamers, for example, and they speak in their main language on their stream is German. But if I go in and start talking, they might say a couple of things in English specifically to me. Yeah, there's a cool plugin or an extension on Twitch. You'll have to Google for, I don't have the link off the top of my head for it, but if y'all pop in Offbeats, if you hear this, the Offbeats Discord, and you want the link to this, I just posted it in Offbeats earlier tonight, but it's a captioning extension on Twitch. So if you Google for Twitch closed captions extension, it should be the first option, but there's the ability for the viewer to use bits to translate the captions into their native language. But the viewer does have to use bits, and that's to cover the cost of the translation stuff on their end of the extension. I wish it was free, but I also understand that, like, why it's you know, a charge for it. And it's not a charge for the streamer. I almost wish they would just let the streamer do a flat fee to make it full. Like, I would be willing to do that personally. Well, y'all give me a price, I'll pay it. If it's a monthly charge, I'll do it. I'd love to make my content more accessible to internationally if possible. But it does put the pressure on the viewer to pay bits to translate into their language. And every stream, it doesn't last for every single stream. So whenever they come in, it's another 100 bits. So that's a little bit of that's quite a negative to me. But at the same time, like, it's there if people need it. Now back to this, because that's a little bit off topic of what you were asking, but recommendations are using the tags for the languages that you're speaking in, and going for it. I think that streaming, watching streamers in another language, I think it's a great way for you to practice the language, and practice and speak to other people that are speaking that language. So, like, I've always wanted to learn Japanese, and if I got to a point where I could have conversational Japanese and I started streaming in Japanese, and then I had Japanese people coming in to talk and chat with me, and I was able to get direct feedback from native speakers, I think that would improve my language ability, like, so much. It would rapidize, or make it more rapid that I could learn that language. You know, it's almost like going to the country and walking around and talking to people in the country. So I think this is a really, really cool way to practice and be immersed in other native speakers to kind of help you learn the language a little bit better. Okay, next question is from unknowing G sign. And it says, I feel embarrassed to do call to actions. Yeah, I can relate to this. I feel embarrassed to do call to actions and even to receive subs or bits on Twitch. I feel guilt. What can I do to address this? Oh, you shouldn't feel guilty. Why do you feel guilty? That's a whole emotional unpacking to look into. I feel annoying when I'm like like and subscribe, like or like I feel annoying, but I will say that it works. When I first started doing YouTube videos, some of my videos even included like, ugh, you don't have to subscribe to me. I feel weird telling you to subscribe. But it's so like self-conscious sounding. And when you start saying it out loud, it does remind people like, hey, like the video, by the way. You might have forgotten and maybe you weren't going. Because a lot of times when I'm watching YouTube, I'll watch the video and then I just go to a new tab and I don't think. But if they say out loud and I do like them enough, I won't do it for everyone that does it. But sometimes it will just kind of be like, oh, yeah, let me give you a like. Let me help you out in that algorithm. So I wouldn't feel guilty. And if you really are having a hard time with subs and bits, you can always turn off the affiliate ship in Twitch. I wouldn't recommend doing that personally, but I would recommend getting comfortable with it. I think that this is almost like you don't think you're worth it. So we're talking about guilt coming in with this. You feel like you're not worth people spending their money on. So the calls to actions and stuff it's very rare that I'll do the like, by the way, if you have Twitch Prime, then you can sub for free, or if you have Amazon Prime, you can connect it to your Twitch account. I don't do that very often at all. It's usually only when it naturally comes up in the conversation of Twitch streaming. But I would, and I don't know, it's up to you. I don't find it necessary to remind people to follow. I feel like the average viewer is smarter than like they're smart. They know how to follow a channel. They know how to like, they know how to leave a comment, but I will say that when I have a good, in my YouTube videos, when I'm naturally asking engaging questions throughout the video, I have more comments in my channel than if I'm at the end of the video. I'm sure you'll have noticed a couple of the videos where at the very end I'm like, so what's your opinion on this? What do you think you're gonna do? Tell me in the comments. Like, as opposed to somewhere in the middle of the video where I'm just naturally like, I don't know, do y'all think that it's a good idea to do a countdown on a starting soon screen? I'm not really sure. What do y'all think? And then I continue with the next 5 minutes of the video. Like, when there's like natural questions that I'm actually interested in and I'm not just adding that question at the end for the sake of call to action, trying to stoke engagement. So I think the more natural, like allowing it to come out naturally is going to come across better to the audience too, because we can tell when people are like and subscribe and smash that notification bell. Like we know what's going on there, right? Literal shadow work, I mean, low key. So yeah, I like the other way that you could do this like subs and bits thing is like, instead of asking people to sub or doing a call to action to sub, is like integrated into your show somehow or integrated into your stream somehow. So like my tarot streams, in order for like I do giveaways, so I'll pull someone random out of the audience to do their tarot reading, but I allow people to skip that line or guarantee that they get a reading if they subscribe, if they do gift subs. So it's integrating it into the practice of the show, and that I have my highest sub count ever since I've started like rolling that out, because it actually works. Like, but you have to incentivize the audience in the right way. They have to get something out of it that they want out of it. So you can't just be like, give me 3 gift subs if you like the content, or it's like, oh, do you want to play on the next match of Overwatch with me? Then gift a sub, or sub only mode. I have every Sunday I only do sub only streams, and like you have to incentivize the audience. And if you naturally integrate it into the content that you're doing already, you won't have to ask people to do it. You won't have to do a call to action because it's naturally built into what you're doing, right? Okay. Who we got next? Unknowing G sign. I think you gotta also value yourself and know that cheesy, but know that you are worth it. And if people don't want to, they're not going to. So you don't have to worry about feeling guilty about it. People understand the nature of online content creation too. We understand what it is. We know that it's an entertainment service, and subculture, like subbing on Twitch, bits on Twitch, it's part of the culture. It's part of the fun. So like subathons are a thing. I don't think that you should feel insecure about this this, or guilty even. I think that there's some background stuff to address in here, which doesn't really have anything to do with streaming. Okay, I'm gonna move on. I'm not a therapist. Okay. John G says, which is the best site? I don't know if I'll have the best answer for this. Which is the best site to use for tips to avoid trolls from making chargebacks? Twitch. Or YouTube, if it's integrated into the platform. I've never got, no, you can't charge back bits. You can't charge back subs. PayPal, they can. And I've had chargebacks, a big, like I had somebody who donated, this was my first year of streaming. I had no idea what I was dealing with. Somebody donated $300 to me, and then 4 or 5 weeks later, they charged it back. PayPal gives you up to 180 days. 180 days, 6 months, half of a year to refund a donation. Okay? It causes so much trust issues when I get a big donation on a stream, because I'm like, especially if it's from someone whose name I know, then I usually don't have any worries. But if it's a name I don't know and then a donation gets dropped, I'm like looking at that money and I'm like, I can't touch this for 6 months because I don't know if I can trust this. What if this is someone that's playing a long game troll? They're going to donate $300 and then 4 months later they're going to refund it, and then my bank account gets overdrawn because I've already spent that money. Most of us as small streamers, we don't have like that like $300 donation. Oh my God, like I'm going to go out and I'm going to pay all my bills off immediately. I'm going to buy some groceries and I'm going to buy that pair of shoes I've been looking at. Like, you know what I mean? Like that a lot of times that's what happens for smaller streamers. We're not rich individuals. So it was not a good situation for me when that got charged back. I did get overdrafted and I had a negative PayPal account balance for like 4 or 5 months. The place I was at Life, I was working like part-time jobs, not making minimum wage kind of thing. So it was a bad situation for me. But PayPal comes with a warning of that. And if you get a big donation that you don't trust, I wouldn't touch it for 6 months, to be honest. If you want to avoid that drama at all, then I would only monetize through either Twitch or YouTube or whatever platform you're streaming out of in the first place, because there's a buffer there. You can't get charged back on Twitch subs and stuff. Welcome in, Poppy. How are you doing? Moonrise, it's so good to see you. Welcome in. How's it going? So I'm gonna move on to the next one for this. There might be a better answer for this. This is something that I would want to deep research into online and dig around and find an answer. That's just off the top of my head, my experience with Twitch. So question, we've talked about this, but it'd be fun to discuss here. I always feel like I'm missing out on opportunities if I'm not always creating something. How do I curb or possibly use that drive? You feel like you're missing out on opportunities if you're not creating something. So this goes in with the idea of if I'm not live, I don't get hosted, I don't get rated, I don't get subscribers. And then I go on Twitter and I see someone just got 30 gift subs in their stream tonight, and I'm jealous because I didn't go streaming, and now I'm bitter at this person and I feel like a failure. It's that kind of mindset that's coming in, right? If I'm not always creating something, I would pull yourself down to a sustainable thing. I think this is also a question of sustainability. How much is too much and how much is just enough? So if you feel like you always have to be working on something, maybe just do one project a week, one video a week. Like go live at the start of the week and then spend the rest of the week editing one video. So you have the one live stream up, that's sticking with the consistency of live streaming. No, it's not the 3 days a week, 3 times, that we've talked about in the past, but it's still 1 day a week. So it's a weekly consistency, which I think is just fine too. We do one live stream a month here on YouTube. Yes, I live stream on another platform, but my consistency right now with my live streams on YouTube is once a month, first Wednesday of every month. And we've done this, I think this is our 4th month now. So I'm sticking with the consistency at this point. And then I'm doing stuff in the meantime that would continue to keep people engaged with my presence online, whether that's a weekly YouTube video or weekly Twitch streams, posting on Instagram, whatever it is. So it's sticking with that consistency. So maybe live stream once a week and then do a video editing project for the rest of the week. If you don't have you know what I mean? Like pace yourself is the best answer I can give to this. That's how you could use the drive. curbing the drive would make me feel like you need to step away from looking at social media. You need to stop using social media as an entertainment source. So stop scrolling through Twitter, stop spending time in other people's streams all the time, and pull back and focus a little bit more on yourself, and have social media be somewhere you go to publish something and then you leave it again, right? Because you're now, this is the trap I was in with Twitter about a year ago that I feel like I'm finally out of. I don't scroll Twitter anymore for fun. I might do like a 1-2 every now and again, but I don't scroll through it. I don't care. I don't need to see it anymore. I've got too much other stuff that I could be doing besides sitting there for 3 hours scrolling through Twitter and falling down this dramatic streamer debate. This streamer said this thing, but I actually think that no, you should use your starting soon screen, and anyone that doesn't use a starting soon screen is privileged, and la 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 la. Like, I don't have to fall down that debate. I don't have to get involved with the drama because I'm not looking at it anymore, or I'm not seeing this person who I really admire, but the more successful they become, the more envious I become of them, and then it makes me bitter and my negative feelings come out and it affects my ability to create. I just step away from it. Stop letting it use you is how I want to say it. Stop letting social media use you. Stop being the product, right? Stop being what social media is trying to create, to turn you into, is the consumer. I think I see the issue here now. I think now I've gotten to the root of it. You're a creator, but you're too much of a consumer at the same time. And that is messing with your ability to be able to focus on the creation aspect. So you got to dial back the not my circus, not my monkeys. That's what my mom always says, Ms. It's exactly what she always says. My mom says, and this is a age-old thing, but we all have a little tiny monkey on our shoulders, and we're walking around, and this monkey is just like yelling and making little noises and pulling at our hair and all of this kind of stuff. And everybody has a monkey on their shoulders. And there are people in the world that are trying to get you to take their monkey off of their shoulder and carry it around for them because they don't want to deal with it anymore. And they're trying to put that monkey on you. It's not my monkey. That's your monkey. That's not my monkey. I've got my monkey. I don't want to deal with your monkey, right? That she's been telling me that since I was like 10 years old. And it's only the older I get to an adulthood where I'm like, oh my God, you're right. That's not my monkey. That's not my monkey. I'm not dealing with that. Get it away from me. Okay, so I'm going to move on from Content Galaxy. We're going to go to Luna Lisa Tarot, who says, I do tarot mostly, but I love games and I get a lot less viewers when I game, but I've only played one game so far. Is there a certain genre that gets more views? Luna, this is very similar to what I deal with. My tarot streams are my best streams. I get, if I could quantify it, I'd say 25% more viewership or so. And to put it in more tangible numbers, on tarot streams, I will get between 60 to 90 viewers. And on my normal gaming streams, I get between 40 to 60, depending. So I would even say down to 30, depending on the game. So between 30 and 60 on a game stream, and usually between 50 to 90 on a tarot stream. It's almost double in interest in my tarot streams. Understandably so, because it's one-on-one emotional attention, right? Is there a genre that gets more views? I don't think that you should worry about the genre so much, Luna, as I think that you should just, this is what I've had to do with mine, is I've just accepted that my tarot streams are going to be much better sellers than the rest of my content, my gaming content on Twitch, and just allow that to be what it is. And yeah, I get double the viewers on my tarot nights, but that doesn't change the fact that I still have some people tuning in when I'm playing Stardew Valley. There's still some people here. So I'm still going to play it because I don't want to do tarot every single day. And I'm sure you understand it's emotionally draining. It's not sustainable to do it every single day. So I think pacing yourself on that and setting specific days that you're doing tarot, and then allowing yourself to pepper in the other content, because what you're also doing is allowing other people to see the variety of what you offer, and get to hang out with you in a more chill basis and develop a different type of relationship with you. Tarot streams and stuff like these Q&As creates a very student teacher, like guru, disciple kind of vibe. So when I'm playing video games, it's more we're on an equal basis. We're just kind of, we both like this game and we're chilling together, right? I would check in with yourself, what and focus on the game that you like. Play the game that you like. I will say that I've given this advice to Panthera in chat. Panthera is also a tarot streamer, and I've actually gone back on the advice with her, because she's a brand new streamer. I won't say brand new. She's been off and on for a bit, and I'm using you as an example. Sorry, Panthera, but she's been off and on for a bit, and this year is stepping up and wanting to do the thing, okay, to make it work. And when she first started streaming in the summer, I told her to do like basically an every other day, like stream. She's very into fantasy stuff. So the example was like Skyrim, ESO, Assassin's Creed kind of games, and then tarot. So tarot and a fantasy game, tarot and a fantasy game. And she found that her viewership was like so low. And I'll just use numbers. Like she's actually doing very well. She's pushing closer to the 15 to 20 viewers now on her tarot streams. But when she was first getting started, she was between like the 5 to 6 viewers on tarot streams and the 0 to 2 viewers on her video game streams. And I actually told her to just drop the gaming streams altogether and focus on tarot for a bit, but do it in very small intervals. So two or 3 times a week, absolute tops, and build up a little bit of audience first, because that's clearly working. It's doubling down on this. We're bringing new people are coming into your channel. They're learning who you are and they're learning to like you. And then after you start to get to where you're averaging between 10 to 20 views, right? That's when you can start to integrate and bring in that content that is not a good seller, but you still want to make it, and you want to be able to be variety and have a difference of different types of content on your channel. So if it is like that for you, Luna, where you're just trying to get this initial audience built, maybe just go ahead and stick and main in tarot for a little bit, and that's going to be a different amount of time for everybody depending on how fast you grow. But I'd say once you start to get a pretty consistent regular audience, I'd say, and to quantify that, I'd put that between 10 to 25 viewers. Then you could start to add in that one variety day a week where you do something besides tarot, and just accept that you're not going to have your high viewership. It's going to be like probably 5 to 10. Blurk, another super chat. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you for the support. So yeah, all right, I'm going to move on from this question. I think that this question, I know we discussed tarot, but I think this would work for art streamers or people who have a specific anything where you kind of relate to that. This one game everybody watches, but nobody watches me do this other thing, and I want to do both of them. So kind of go with that sort of strategy. All right, let's pull our next one. Who do we just have? Luna. Okay, Blurk is, if you had a, let's see, side gig like Etsy. If you had a side gig like Etsy, is it uncouth to shout it out during the stream? No. Oh no. Or literally do streams just as disguised advertisement for your shop. Do you have a better idea to tie, I'm assuming probably tie the two in? No, it's not uncouth at all. So like we mentioned earlier that I had a planner that you could download for GoodNotes, right? But that naturally integrated into the conversation. I didn't feel like I was force feeding that to y'all. No, it's not uncouth. And I think that streams and stuff, YouTube videos in general, like they are kind of natural disguised advertisement for the other services that you offer. So a different way to do this, I don't think that you need to shove it in people's faces. Like if I sat here for, it depends though. I could be like, today's live stream is sponsored by my Etsy shop. So the fact that I'm able to live stream today is because I have an Etsy shop and it's funded by the purchases, and I sell this, that, and the other over there, and do my little 2-minute plug. Like if you could incorporate it in like that, and I think that your audience would be more than happy to accept that. But if I spent like 30 minutes just talking about the products that I was selling, and I was sitting in the Stardew category and it was completely unrelated, right? I don't think that you should stop yourself from letting people know that you have other services, but there are more subtle ways you could do it. So rather than just overtly telling people to go buy your stuff, like if you're a jewelry maker, wear your own earrings. And these, oh, you like them? They're on my Etsy. You know what I mean? Like more subtle ways of showing what it is that you're offering. Or if you do graphic design, make sure all of your graphics are used in your and really flare them up when you're transitioning scenes and stuff like that, so that people would want to ask about them. And then when they do ask, that's when you're like, oh, here's my command that's set up in the bot that will immediately link you to my Etsy shop, or the links down below in my Twitch about panels. You know, make it very easy for people to access your shops and let you know that you do stuff like that. You know, things like that. So yes, in some ways, like if you are a small business that does some kind of you are an artist that does commissions or something, or you're a crafter that has crafty things to sell, or you're selling a course, like an e-course, like you're a tarot reader, but you also teach people how to read tarot, every now and again in your streams, like when it feels appropriate. So maybe someone in chat is like, wow, I never thought to read the full reversed like that. It's a really interesting way. And you can be like, yeah, actually I have a couple of concepts about how I go about learning or like reading tarot cards, and I actually have a course available on it if you're interested, like wait for it to feel naturally appropriate to bring it up rather than force feeding people. But I still think there's nothing wrong with quote force feeding, as long as you're not doing it for obscene amounts of time and too many times in one video, right? And I think we can kind of get a feel for that from YouTube. Like, what makes you turn a YouTube video off when someone's been going on and on about a sponsor for too long? Or if you tune into a YouTube video and the very first thing you hear is like, this video is sponsored by, and then it just goes on for 4 minutes of a sponsored plug, and it's a 7-minute long video, and you got to watch 4 minutes of a sponsorship and you're 3 minutes of content. You know what I mean? Like you question it yourself. Ask yourself, what makes me turn a YouTube video off? What makes me annoyed with someone in stream? Y'all aren't annoyed when I do, some of y'all might be, but y'all aren't annoyed when I do my sponsored placements in the YouTube videos, because I keep them short and I keep them relevant to what we're doing for the most part, right? Or y'all aren't annoyed when a streamer, is talking about the fact that they have a fundraiser that they're working on because I've got a school bill coming up and I'm going to be doing a horror stream, and any donations for this are going to help me pay for my school bill that's due. And if you do donate, then I'll put your name on a star on the wall back here. Like, people understand this kind of exchange and culture, so I don't think that you should be afraid to participate in it as the creator. Okay. Violet Hummingbird has a question that is, only have about 2 hours a day to stream. I'm doing every other, let's see. I have a question. I only have about 2 hours a day to stream. I'm doing every other day, YouTube, Twitch, because I want to be on both platforms. But am I doing myself a disservice by splitting it up? I don't think so, actually. I actually think it's probably a pretty good time for streamers to start getting their feet in YouTube if they haven't already. YouTube looks like it's starting to try to up its game. They're rolling out a lot of new features. I mean, y'all can see that I have memberships here, so it's competing with the Twitch subscribers. Twitch is about to have to address this, which is good. They're getting some competition, but they're about to have to address the 50-50 split they're taking from streamers' income, because YouTube is offering a 70-30 split. So that I think that keeping your little feet in both pots if you can, and like tiptoeing out, is a good idea. But I would, like, for me, I keep Twitch as my main streaming platform, and I'm doing a sprinkle, like once a month on YouTube. I'm working, and it may increase over time, it may not, who knows, kind of thing, but I'm just kind of getting myself situated and ready for it. If you were doing, sort of in some ways, yeah, it's going to be hard to maintain momentum on both if you're doing like 3 days a week of both of them, so 6 days a week total streaming. But if it's like 2 and 2, like half the time you're on YouTube and half the time you're on Twitch, I might consider, I feel like you've got a very specific circumstance here, situation, but I would almost consider like YouTube lives are one type of content and Twitch lives are a different type of content. So for example, on YouTube, you would go live with like Fortnite gameplay, and on Twitch you would go live with Stardew. Those may be two different, but do you see what I'm saying? Like YouTube maybe, or another way, YouTube you could play a narrative based game, so like an Assassin's Creed or a Nier Automata or something like that. And on Twitch you could do community based games like Jackbox Party Pack or Among Us, or so have some kind of differentiation, so that there's a way that you could like explain it to your viewers what they're getting different by coming to the different platforms with you. That's not totally required, but I think that could be an interesting strategy for the fact that you're using two different platforms to live stream off of. Try to change, niche each of the content in just a slightly different way so that it feels worth it to subscribe to you on both platforms and make the effort to interact with you on both platforms. You're doing tarot on both but crafts on the weekends? See, yeah, perfect. So I would do tarot on one channel and I would do crafting on the other channel, and see how that works for you. Just kind of test it out. Try to test it out. So like Maybe potentially. I think that you've got a very interesting example, and I'd love to see kind of how your testing process goes, and what does work and what doesn't work. That's a pretty interesting situation. So if I were in your shoes, the first thing that I would probably try is like crafting. I'd probably do the crafting on Twitch, because I feel like there's a bigger audience for live stream crafting on Twitch, and maybe tarot on YouTube, or vice versa. I'd try to split them up that way. But I don't know. It's a very interesting, I could see it going both. I don't know that you are doing yourself a disservice. I think that it's good that you're diversifying on both platforms, and maybe you really don't need to switch it up so that you're doing just art on YouTube, and just because in some ways I could see that's just a very healthy way to keep all of your interests available for everyone on the different platforms that you're using. I think that I don't know. I'd love to see how yours plays out. Okay, so we've got another one here from Christina. I love playing GTA 5. Oh man, come on. There it goes. I love playing GTA 5, but isn't it like really saturated? How people will be able to find me and watch? I would love to start streaming. So Christina, it's a little saturated, I think, but I actually think GTA 5 is GTA 5 is where everyone's role playing all the time, right? I think GTA is a very close knit, interesting section of Twitch. And I think that you could, it's like Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing is fairly saturated, but I think that you could work your way up in the category. There's definitely space for growth. So the problem with GTA 5 as compared to Animal Crossing, typically from what I've seen in GTA 5, I don't watch it very often, but what I usually see is there's quite a few people at the top that have thousands and thousands of viewers. So it's almost like the Minecraft category. It's pretty saturated, and I actually think you'd be better off if you were closer to the 30 to 50 average viewers trying to break into that category. But it's not impossible by any means. So no, I think that GTA 5 is a pretty good niche. What I would say, so that to help you, which we've talked about a little bit earlier in tonight's stream, but what I would say is to make sure that you're creating off-stream platform or off-platform content, off-stream content on other platforms. Wow, that was hard to get out. So that and tagging like GTA, or starting to network with some of these other GTA streamers on Twitter and stuff like that, trying to become friends with them and stuff like that. Not the huge ones or anything, but people that are closer in your sphere, and start to network in that subgenre and start to show people what makes your GTA stream so interesting and entertaining compared to the rest of the category. Yeah, I think I agree with you, Priestess of Wonderland. I feel like Twitch is a little bit better for finding niches right now. YouTube is pretty oversaturated for sure, but I also don't think that their live stream section is great for discoverability just yet. I think that they're going to address that. They've mentioned that in a previous blog in the last couple of weeks. I think they're going to be working on addressing that, but I actually think Twitch is a little better for discoverability in the live format. So like for example, I'm sure that I would say 99% of people that are in tonight's chat here on YouTube, y'all have all already known about my channel and are already either subscribed or have watched my videos in the past. Not a lot of y'all are coming in just because you happen to find me on YouTube, right? Twitch, I typically get new people whenever I stream, typically, not always, but there's usually new faces that are following that night and just found you from this, you were playing Stardew and I found you in the Stardew category. Twitch is a little better for live stream discoverability right now. I think that might change over the next year though, depending on what YouTube does. Okay, now we have a question from Nymph. Question. Nymphea, I think is how you say it, Nymphea. Do you struggle with perfectionism? Yes. And do you have advice on how to not let it take over projects, stream or otherwise? Yes, absolutely. Perfectionism has been one of my biggest limiting factors to why, like, I wanted to start streaming and creating YouTube content back in 2012, 2011, 2012 or so. And I really wanted to, and I didn't until I started around 2014. And it was a big failure. My first live stream on Twitch was through a really janky laptop, and my DSLR, oh my God, my DSLR camera set up on a tripod pointed at my television screen, capturing Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. and Red Dead Redemption. So I was capturing a TV screen through a camera, pulling that into my laptop. My laptop's webcam. Oh, it was not good. And so I streamed like 2 or 3 times, and then I didn't stream again. I left. I didn't even think about Twitch for a couple of years. And I started over on YouTube. And the reason that it took me so long is because it didn't look like how I wanted it to, or I didn't have the best camera, or, you know, on a personal, like physical level, like I don't want to be on camera until I've lost more weight, or things like that. And like perfectionism definitely would come in with like the way that I do makeup and hair. And there's been several times where I haven't streamed, not recently. I think I've been getting over it for the last like 2 years or so, but early on in streaming, oh my God, like put this wig on, rip this wig off, put this one on. No, I hate this. Oh, I hate the way my eyeliner looks. I want to take it all. And then eventually, like I have so much of a struggle with making myself look the way that I want to, that I just cancel the stream. Or, you know, the overlay isn't participating the way that I want it to, the overlay. I hate the overlay all of a sudden. Like, yeah, that has been a huge, that struggle, fight. Advice on not letting it take over projects is, I think the best advice I got, and something that helped me overcome it a little bit, is instead of trying to deliver 100%, deliver 70% of what I'm capable of. Hit my 70% best. Instead of trying to be 100%, this is exactly perfect, exactly how I want it, just hit the 70% and then put it out there and then move on to a new project. And I started doing that with my YouTube videos. And that's actually how to get started on 2021 Twitch video that I did last year. That wasn't 100% to my ability. That was about 70% to my ability, what I would consider. I could have done a lot more with the sound effects and the memes and the all of this kind of stuff. I could have gone above and beyond and way too. I could have interviewed someone and brought someone on for their personal reaction to a certain talking point. There's so many things that I could have done to make it more, better, larger in this like big vision that I had. But I went with the 70% and I put it out there and I moved on and I made something else. And I put it out there and I moved on and I made something else. And as time goes on, it just fine tunes. The process gets easier, more streamlined, and faster. And I'm able to add more of a pizzazz and stuff. Hydrate is a good call. Oh, I love that, Violet. Violet says, I love the concept of the string of an instrument for perfectionism. It can't be too loose and it can't be too tight, but just right to make music. Yeah, that's true. It's got to be just in the middle. Not too loose, not too tight. Yeah. I agree, Wayward. Perfectionism is an underlying issue for a lot of people, and you don't notice it. You don't realize that it's what it is for a long time. A big thing about growing as a content creator and growing as a person is self-awareness and checking in with yourself and noticing these things. So yeah. All right. Let's go with Risa Rue's question. Did I answer this one? Yeah, what's your thoughts on streaming? Oh, I think we just answered this one. Risa Rue, what's your thought between streaming on YouTube versus Twitch? Which is better? I think I accidentally answered that one already. But I think that Twitch has the better discoverability. And I think that YouTube is better for archived video content right now. But I think that depending on what YouTube does over the next couple of months, because I do think they're trying to up that game, I think that YouTube could become pretty good competitor to Twitch. I will say that YouTube has a better payout. 70% goes to the streamer, 30% goes to YouTube. Twitch takes 50%. So I think that there's that to consider. But the discoverability would probably mean that you're going to get more donators on Twitch anyway. So but that's also just only taking into consideration the money. I think that Twitch's format for streaming, the dashboard and stuff, is a little better. So I think it's going to come down to personal taste as far as the dashboards go. But discoverability, I think, should be your big focus when you're in a live stream format. Unless it's just about connecting with the audience, because I don't think Instagram has the best like live stream discoverability, but it's great for that personal connection with your audience. So that's the question. Are you looking for discoverability, or are you looking for that personal connection with the audience? If it's just the personal connection and discoverability isn't as much of an issue, then maybe YouTube, you just stick with that. I think that there's a lot to debate here. I think there's positives and negatives to both. And then I want to know if it's true when a user clicks your timestamp, YouTube logs it as 2 views. 1 for the initial click on the video and 2 for the specific. I actually don't know this at all. 2 for the specific timestamp moment in the video. I don't think so. I would guess no, but I don't know. I have no idea about this. I've never heard of anything like this before. I don't think it would. Like if someone clicks on your video and then they click in your little time bar to take you somewhere else, I don't see why it would count as 2 views. But I have no idea. So, okay, that's the last in the ones that Panthera sent to me. And I think that's good because we're right at 3 hours. So, yeah. So I think that I might wrap the live stream here. Let me see. There we go. We're right at the 3 hour mark. I didn't want to go over 3 hours. So I guess we will, wrap it up. I do want to say, if y'all are still hanging out here, that, we're doing streamer check-in, stream reviews tomorrow in the Offbeats, Discord server. So www.discord.com, right? discord.gg/offbeats. How do you do the vanity URL? Is that it? Let me check. I don't know. Help me. Go to site. Yep, it looks like that's it. Okay. Discord.gg/the offbeats. Tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will be doing everyone will be on voice chat together. Video is encouraged, but it's not required, but we do screen share a lot. And we will be doing stream reviews, streamer check-ins. So we're just going to hang out, chat about our stream journeys, questions that you have specific to your content. We'll have like more of a one-on-one focus. It's actually a group discussion, so it's not going to be direct one-on-one kind of thing, but we do kind of like swap from one person and everyone kind of group discusses and group analyzes and group works together to chat about their issues and stuff. I will be streaming next month. So I'm streaming regularly on Twitch, of course. So it's twitch.tv/HeyShadyLady. If you want to hang out for gaming content, Sundays I usually dress up a bunch and do tarot streams. The rest of the week is gaming content, variety. I'll probably be getting into Animal Crossing next week if I can figure out what's going on with my capture card. There's super modded Stardew Valley, and then cute little indie games that I find along the way, and collaborative content with friends and stuff like that. So good variety over there, but it stays in the cute, uwu, wholesome, fun vibes. And I think that's all. Yeah, I have Twitter and Instagram, of course, which are also Hey Shady Lady. And then I will be launching a coffee and a Patreon and sometime next week that's going to have like exclusive content and stuff. I've just got to kind of get the details fleshed out and finalized for that. But I do want to say also a huge thank you to everyone that has tuned in tonight, especially all of you for your wonderful questions. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you for hanging out with me on this wonderful Thursday evening. No, it's Wednesday. This wonderful Wednesday evening. Tomorrow's Thursday. I only stream on YouTube once a month. So the first Wednesday of every month at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we do our live stream Q&A. It's possible I might up that at some point, but I'm not planning on that currently. Like I like the once a month on YouTube for the Q&A sessions right now. But we'll see what happens in 2022. So, and we keep these kind of focused around YouTube tutorial, Twitch tutorial kind of stuff, but also open to other questions and things like that. So I guess that's going to be it. Especially, I think over the next month as I start expanding into more variety content on this channel, the Q&A sessions might end up drifting a little bit away from like only Twitch tutorial stuff related. But yeah, thank you everyone so much for the super chats. I guess we'll do a little, let me see if I can easily see it. Viewer activity, would that be it? Oh, I wanted to try to do a little shout out for the super chats tonight, but I don't easily see how to see them. Boo. All right, well, super chats from earlier. Thank you. Y'all are wonderful. I can kind of see them. Blurk had a couple. Funky Peanut had one. Blurk had another one. Real Frank Mayo had one. I think those were all the super chats tonight. So thank you all so much. And thank you for the memberships as well. I appreciate y'all and the support on me and my content. And yeah, so I guess I will see y'all. There's some Blurk. Thank you. Thank you for the other super chat. I guess that's going to wrap it up though. I won't be live on Twitch tomorrow. We're doing the streamer check-ins in the Discord, the Offbeats Discord server. And I think my next live stream is supposed to be Saturday night on Twitch. Friday, I'm going to have a YouTube video going up, but it's going to be a personal one. I'm going to do a like personal life update, health check-in, and all of that kind of thing. So, yeah, I guess that's going to be it. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful night. Thanks for that super chat, Blurk. Thank you, thank you. And I will see you all sometime this week if y'all hang out on another platform with me, or next month for our next Q&A session. All right, I'll see y'all next time. Panthera, huge thank you for all of your help tonight. You were absolutely wonderful. Lumpy, thank you for helping mod tonight. I appreciate y'all. And I will see y'all next time. Bye, everybody.